Jeff Mack and Ed roll to win on the mic. Dice talking about the fly, talking casino craps under Vegas and Biloxi sky. Close the dice roll like a wizard casts a spell. Dice and precision make a ring that bell. Trend betting is the game, watching for the wave. Money stacking high, no room to cave. Regression bets saving you from sinking deep. Pull back when you're on top, dreams ain't cheap. Craps with the rolling hot, never let stop. Mac and roll to win it, ain't got rock solid chips to drop. Dice matches settle right, never flop. Trading regress is the way to win in craps. Set those bows right, not too tight. Feel the vibe, feel the energy. On the table in your tribe, precision so clean like an arrow in flight. Look at those box numbers lighting up the night. Trend is the move to make, like a gambler's 6 cents. Reading table moves, no room for pretense. Let the winds flow. Regression when it's tight, save your stack for storms. Keep your bankroll bright. Dice roll, wisdom flow, hit the winning glow. Jeff Mack and Ed for roll to win, showing you the pros way to go. Bet smart, play hard, stack them chips right. Craps game knowledge, bring it winning to the line. Craps with the rolling hot, never let stop. Mac and roll to win, ain't got rock solid tips to drop. Dice magic settle right, never flop. Trading regress is the way to win in craps. Craps with the rolling hot, never let it stop. Mac and roll to win, ain't got rock solid tips to drop. Dice magic settle right, never flop. Trading regress is the way to win in craps. Set those bones right, not too tight. Feel the vibe, feel the energy. On the table in your drop, precision so clean like an arrow and flop. Trend to regress is the way to win in craps. Dice roll, wisdom flow, hit the winning glow.
Wow. Hello, everyone. It's Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Craps, and I started the show off. I started the show off.
Song, dude.
I'm so elated at what just happened that I don't really care that I messed it up. I went to start the show, and Ed's stream, by the way, guys, we're dual streaming. Ed's stream wouldn't start, and it wasn't his problem, it was my problem. And I got it started. I reset the timer, tried to get the music to work with it, and oh my gosh, Ed and G had not heard that song until right now. I didn't tell them I was doing it. A couple things in the song I didn't like, but oh, what the hell, it's Christmas, and Merry Christmas to you too. Hey, G and
Merry
Ed,
Christmas.
welcome.
Merry Christmas.
Oh my gosh, it's well, first of all, let's talk about that. What did you think of the intro? I mean, I screwed it up, but come on, you got.
Oh, man, I loved it. I was grinning. I was sitting over here laughing and grinning. I loved it.
Oh, it sounded like a little bit like FGL, if you know who the band I'm talking about from country. I don't want to specifically say the band, but it's not. It's Ed. You know how I did it. So in any event, that was great. So welcome to the show, everyone. We've got my good friend Ed for Roll to Win. We've got G with us tonight. That's Gargoil, and we're going to do a Merry Crapsmas show, which says up there somewhere, and we're going to be talking a little bit about what happened in 2024, what's going on now, some stories. We're going to talk about what's coming up in 2025, and then we're going to give away some things. I've got a couple sleeves of dice here. I'm not going to tell you which one's going where and which one's going right direction. But right now, if you want to get registered for the dice, unfortunately, I can only do it this way tonight, guys. You're going to need to go to midatlanticcraps.com to the promotion tab, and there's a form on there that you can fill out to win a sleeve of these dice. We're going to be giving away 2 official casino-grade dice tonight. One from Craps Nation, one from Casinos Tiers, and we're going to be giving them away about halfway through the show and then at the end of the show. And you have to be present to win tonight, guys, because my software is not working. So you're going to have to be here to win it, in it to win it, and here to claim it. There we go. So let's get that out of the way. I'll mention that a couple more times, Ed. So wow, what's going on, guys? It's Sunday evening. Santa's getting his sleigh all packed up with, well, casino stuff and dice and so forth. And anyway, Ed, say something to me.
Yeah, today is December 22nd, and it's almost Christmas. And today is my mom and dad's anniversary.
Oh,
today I went and had lunch with them today. We went and had a steakhouse over there where they live. and they have been married 68 years today.
God bless them.
68 years.
I need
So
contact information. How much do they charge for therapy sessions? Marriage counseling.
I tell you what, them
Longer than
them two
I
have been a mess.
than, than my
Them two have
age.
been a mess to deal with my whole life. But no, I'm kidding. They're fun. They're great folks. We'll try to take them down to Biloxi. They like to play slot.
Something happened to your mic, Ed. It sounds like you got like muted the mic or something. I'm not exactly sure. Why you take a look at that, see if it.
Wasn't me.
Oh,
Can you hear
there
me
it
now?
goes. No, I hear you fine
Yeah.
now. I don't know what happened with that. So
I didn't.
He was drinking.
I didn't
He
do
was drinking
anything.
bourbon.
I was having
That's
a
what
little
happens
nip.
when you drink and talk.
yeah, he was.
A little.
You go ahead and say hello, G. While I run through some of these people that are here tonight, and then we'll get into the show. Go ahead and say what's going on.
Oh, just December 22nd, I'm making room for all the coal I'm getting. Heck, I don't think I'm getting any coal this year. That's how bad I've been. I think Santa's just going to just zoom right by. If I get a Lego, I'll be lucky. Um,
But a Lego
But,
for you is a good present.
hey, I'll take Legos over anything every time. That's I'm running out of room here. I got me I did the end of the year bankroll adjustment. Although I got to readjust based on yesterday, but I bought my wife something as I do every year, and I bought myself something, and yeah, it's been a good year. Year's not over yet, but it's been a good year, and looking forward for 2025.
Well, just let the folks know we have no script for tonight. We just know there's a couple topics we're going to talk about, and we're going to try to work our way through it. Can I say the word BS our way through it? Because this is the no BS zone here. Isn't that what this is here, guys? We have the no BS zone.
Yep.
But
We're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it G-rated.
oh my gosh, well,
G-rated.
G,
Oh
we
my
found
God, what a
what
bad
people
joke.
don't realize, G, is that G rated is not movie theater G rated. Because you said you're gonna keep it G rated with me a couple weeks ago, and all of a sudden some not so G rated words came out.
Yeah. No, it's Gargoil rated. So where do you want to start? You want to
I
start
don't
from the
know.
very beginning?
I think we
Let's
should.
start from the very beginning.
With
Beginning
year
of
review?
the year.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's start beginning of the year. I know, Ed, you brought in the year. You usually go to the casino New Year's Eve, right? So you bring in the New Year at the casino.
Yeah, last year I brought in the new year in Tunica at the Horseshoe. Sure did.
Yep.
Sure did. Don't ask me what
Yep.
happened. I do not remember. I'd forgotten that. But yeah, I was there. I was there in
I know
Tunica
one
last.
thing happened. Lots of bourbon.
No doubt about it. There was always bourbon, and I tend to if I'm out on New Year's Eve, I tend to go to bed kind of early so that I can get up and play the tables while there is absolutely nobody in the casino but a couple of dealers on New Year's
Yep.
Day.
Yep. And somewhere between New Year's and June, you had some plays, but you had some kind of a
Well,
groundwater
you and I
back.
you and I went down you and I went down to Biloxi in March
We did.
with
Yes.
Heavy's bunch that was down there. We stayed down there for several days.
Yes.
That was kind of the first time you'd seen Heavy in quite a while, if I remember correctly, and a bunch of other guys. You got to
Right.
meet some of the other guys that had come in.
I
Um,
did. That's when Mr. Yo 11 found us.
yep, yep, sure is. And so, yeah, I mean, we can go month by month. I don't know if I got the memory for it. We
No,
started
we
Casino
can.
Tears. We started Casino
Yep.
Tears over here.
Yep.
First show was in early February of this year. So that's been going almost a year. And by the way, there will be no episode this coming week.
Christmas Eve.
Holidays. Yeah, just for the holidays.
But
See,
rumor has it.
you take off for a week or two from work so that you can listen to all this good stuff
It's
and
not
watch
me.
all
It's not
these
me. It's
videos
10
and
ton. 10 ton told me tonight. I'm not going. He wasn't going to have
oh
time
yeah,
to get one out this week.
you just drove
Yeah,
the
but
So
bus.
rumor has it you guys have done some pretty good recording. It's just in production now. Is that true?
we have done a lot of recording. We recorded. In fact, we recorded night before last for an hour, a couple of hours. But then there's more in the can. I mean, all he's got to do is get up and get it done. But you know, he's a perfectionist, and he wants it as good as he can get it, or it's not going to go out. So he said he just didn't feel like he would have time this week. Hey, Jen, to get it out and get it ready and get it really like he wants it. But we are dropping a few little short videos out now. It's on Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw one of them. I don't know if it was, my Facebook and Instagram goes together, and I saw you did the short thing that fits into the mobile side of it, and I said, "Wow, that's the first video
Yep.
one I've seen so far," and I don't know where it dropped, but I saw it.
Well, I pulled it in from the Instagram, put it on Facebook, so that might have been where you saw it too.
Okay, yeah,
It's out
I
there.
do, yeah.
And then
Well,
there's one. There. I think there's some shorts out there on YouTube now too.
Um, I don't know that there's not. I just remember seeing the one. I said, "Wow, they put this out," because my good friend Clay. I don't. He's not here yet. I haven't seen him in the chat. He always said, "You know what, Ed and 10 Tons should do is they should put the video along with that." I said, "You don't understand, Clay. They talk for hours, and then they come up with the topics, and then they 10 Ton takes it and slices it up and dices it up, and enhances the video, enhances the audio, and then he puts all the sound effects behind it and merges it together, and it's a very well professional done podcast.
There's
One of my
thousands
favorites.
of cuts, thousands of
Yeah.
cuts in a 30-minute segment, right? So there's been nights that we've recorded 4 hours, and I'm totally drunk by the time it's over with.
That's when the good
I can
stuff
promise you.
starts.
Yeah,
I can promise you. That's what.
yeah. Is that when you two argue? I mean, you're arguing, not arguing, but you agree to disagree. Is how 10 Ton says it. He respectfully agrees to disagree with you. Is that when that comes out, when you get into the
No,
groundwater?
I don't respectfully disagree. I just argue. But no, he's. It's a good show. It's a good show to do that. I mean, I will get on his butt, just like he was a kid of mine, even though he's almost my age.
You
He's
know,
at least as
which
old
button
as.
to push. You know which button
Yeah,
to push.
yeah. So I mean, it's good, right? But yeah, a lot of times I'm kind of half deep into a bottle or something. But
Well, Jeff and I talk a lot on the phone, and we pretty much made an arrangement that next time, starting next year, when we're on the phone talking, we're gonna either tape
Just
it or
record.
videotape it or go live, because we talk for 45 minutes, and then at the end of the call, right before he says goodbye, he's like, "Did you write any of this stuff down? Because that is good, stuff for a show." I'm like, I don't know what we started talking about. We're talking about
But
Bailey, and all of a sudden we're talking about $6 and $8 bets.
I don't know about $6 and $8 bets, but 6 and 8 bets, place bets, yes.
Yeah,
Anthony
place
says Anthony saw Ed taking notes. He picked up his
yeah,
pad a while ago, took some notes, and
I got my
Anthony. Yeah,
notes.
there's a couple Anthonys we know, but he came down in June to the Brownwater Bash. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I don't know if we're rolling through the flow like we want to roll through this or not. But we got right into a couple different topics there from podcasts, because casino tiers started. And while we're on that subject, hey, let's stay on casino tiers just for a second. You guys,
Okay.
you guys got some recent good merchandise in your store, and I'm not trying to plug anything there, but I have a sleeve of dice that I'm going to give away from casino tiers on the show tonight. So anybody that's watching, go over to MidAtlanticCraps.com, promotion tab, fill out the form, and we'll be importing that data in, and we're going to be giving that away about the halfway mark of the show and then towards the end of the show. But we don't know when the halfway mark is, because we don't know how long we're going to go, but we're going to try to
We
work
ain't
it
got a
out. So the dice that you got in, Eb, they went well, and you placed another order, and rumor says maybe even another order, but you don't have to talk about that order.
Well, we've the pre-orders went really well. and there were certain colors, obviously, that were selling out. And so we went ahead and placed another order to replace those immediately so that we wouldn't try not to run out. We're trying to keep them in stock, So then he came up, we decided to do this Christmas special. So the Christmas special, we're almost out of these, which is really a good buy from a retail standpoint. And $90 is 4 sticks plus shipping, but you get red and green of the frosted and red and green of the glossy. And so that's a good price. And he's getting low. He's going to have to reorder some more color, things, but I don't know that there'll be a special on them. We're just doing a Christmas special.
I have a box of Christmas special dice.
We do have, since you mentioned it, a special dice being made in March.
I didn't think you were going to mention that.
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, just
it
leave
is
it at
a
that.
special, and it will still, even though it's going to have a different graphic on it, it will still be casino grade, perfectly balanced, and all that stuff. Everything's.
You know what this means, right? You know what this means. I gotta find room in my case for that 0007 edition for that.
Case.
I don't have room anymore.
Another case.
Well, they're in March. They're in March, so we know what color they're going to be. But we'll just we'll let them wait till they come out and get posted on there. But if you're looking for some official casino grade dice, if you buy them off Amazon or wherever you get them from, or even if you buy them in the store, even if you buy them in the store, you want them have them, professionally made, and you get yours from I can't pronounce it. It begins with an H. Ed, how do you call it?
John Huxley.
Yeah, John Huxley, which used to be Midwest Gaming. You get your dice from there. Right. Craps Nation gets their dice from there. Brian over Wire Crap Shooters gets his dice from there. Heavy gets his dice from there. And who else has got dice that I haven't mentioned yet? That's actually got dice.
Bo gets dice from there.
Bo dice coach. Yep.
I don't have any of his. That's one that's not in my collection. I do need to get some of those at some point, because I have a whole slew of dice back there on my wall.
Huxley bought out Midwest Gaming, like you said, so they are the only manufacturer in the United States. The other one is in Mexico, unless something's moved. There's only 2 casinos in North America that make gaming dice for casinos, and so John Huxley's one of them there in Missouri, and Buy American. Now the other one won't even sell them, won't even make them for us. And we had to twist a few arms to get into that one. So, but the orders went well. I mean, the first order, man, it sold out really. I mean, all but sold out real quick while we were waiting on. We'd already made second orders, third orders, just to keep up with them. They're all kinds of colors, different color combinations. Of course, the signature is going to be the amber and black combos because of those colors right back there.
Evidently, they're made in Missouri. I did not know that. I thought they were made in America, but I didn't know that's where they were made.
It's in Missouri.
Yeah. Hey, Rick. Well, everybody that's here on the show on both sides.
Oh, and we got all these dude, I might as well tell you. I mean, if you're going to go to the store, buy a T-shirt. You got Casino Tiers Las Vegas, Casino Tiers Biloxi, and Casino Tiers Atlantic City. High quality. I know they're a little pricey for a T-shirt. Those suckers are not going to shrink, and you're not going to ever wear them out, I don't think. They're great. So they're there too.
Nice.
Wow.
Hats. Blah, blah, blah.
Well, all right. So you started Casino Tiers at the beginning of the year, or somewhere around there, and the year went on. I met you in Tunica. I met you down and played with you in June. My craps playing in 2024 was limited to 6 sessions, the 7th one coming up right after Christmas for the year. So I don't have that much craps casino experience. I know, Ed, you went a couple times with your wife Tina down to Biloxi, and you're going again at some point in the near future. And G, I know you played a couple times, so I got to meet you and played with you in June. But let's talk about 2024. I've got good things to say. I can tell you that I won as much in 2022 I mean 2023 as I did in 2024 and played a heck of a lot less. So I think that's a positive thing. But let's talk about it.
All right.
Well,
Go
I
ahead,
can
G.
tell you that I'm not gonna. I learned, even though slots have been good to me this year, I'm not gonna do that much slot play next year because
Oh,
the
stop.
the math is not worth it. The math is not worth it. You
And
know.
I are both laughing at you. Well, he went up there, snuck up there over the weekend. And what did we see in a text message? And didn't we get one of those pictures of the printouts?
I did. Oops, I did
Yeah,
it again. Videotape. Yep.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
I
might
didn't know
pull
his
that
black
down.
stuff,
I
but seriously, after you pay Uncle Sam and stuff like that, unless it's a big one, it's just not worth it. I mean, they take 30% taxes off, and you don't see that in return. And if you already spent like $800 to hit the jackpot, and you hit a $2,000 jackpot, and you take or a $3,000 jackpot, they take $900. You end up with 2,000 minus the 800. You got 1,200, which by the way, 1,200 is not bad. But if you already spent that somewhere where it didn't hit, or you lost $1,000, at the end of the day, it's just not worth it. And I just hate
I,
paying the government all that money off of
Hey,
my
G.
hard-earned
Hey,
button
G.
pushes.
G.
Yes.
When you sent that, the first thing I did was zoom in down there to see what the bet was.
that's what I did.
All right. So make smaller bets.
Yep.
There's no fun making
Well,
smaller bets.
I zoomed in to see how much he won.
You
I'll
know,
take the $1,200 or $1,400 win.
Yeah.
did you
All
see
right.
though?
Yeah.
Did you see what was left of my money on the left-hand side? I
You're
had
gonna make
like
me
did.
go
two
back
more
and look.
pulls.
You're gonna make me go
Yep.
back and
But
look.
yeah, but I mean, I looked at how much I gave Uncle Sam just from slots, and it's like if you look at what they take out of my paycheck, what they take out of my slot winnings, it just But craps was good to me. I was up, um, and based on last weekend, I was really up. Even though I kind of cleared out my account and then reset it. Now I gotta reprogram and reset again. Um, I will be playing slots at the G Cave because I did buy two more slot machines, um, Pinball and Alice, as a gift for me, and my wife got fancy diamonds. Um, we do that every year, but I tell you, this year's craps experience two major things. Although I love meeting up with people, I found out that it's it's not healthy for my bankroll to be out there with a lot of people at the craps table. Um, my discipline sometimes didn't work as good. Not saying I'm not going to go out and meet people, but I have to kind of figure out what's the new strategy for Gargoyle is, and I learned a lot more. I gained a lot more experience on how to play on crapless and how to bet the crapless, and that was evident for the last couple of times I played the crapless. It crapless is its own mindset. So even though I've been playing craps for a long time and I've been doing, helping out folks, I'm still learning. I'm still learning. So um, that's my year in review. I got to meet a lot of good folks from the chats, from the YouTube. I got to be on YouTube, off YouTube, then back on YouTube after I got pulled in, thanks to Mr. Yo11 and a few others. Arr. And I yeah, I met some good people that I can call friends that we chat with, and next year I'm gonna probably meet a few more. I made Dice Grinders. There he is. I made him a promise this year that I'll meet up with him. It didn't work out, but I'm gonna keep my promise. Arnell, I'm coming. I'm not sure when, but I'm gonna meet up with you, my friend. And I will be up in Atlantic City. I've never been to Atlantic City, so I will be up in Atlantic City. Um,
Bring it.
You know, when I make promises, I keep them.
Bring it.
You know, all this garbage about him talking about not doing slots. This is said by the guy
He's got a horseshoe up his butt.
that won like 12 hand pays in 4 days when we were in Biloxi, not counting
Yes, he
all
did.
the ones that were almost hand pays.
I didn't get there till Friday, and he had 3 wins before then because I saw all the tickets.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, and not only that, he's still begging for free play. I want more free play on my slots. And the host told him, said, "You killed us. We're not giving you nothing."
I was
That's
standing
how
next
you
to him.
win. You win by betting other people's money.
I don't dispute that, G,
Yep.
but I was standing beside you when you told the host that Ed used that you wanted more slot play. You didn't think you were getting enough.
That's right. Well, okay,
Don't
so
hurt
let's
the
talk
ass,
about
does
this for a second. Let's talk about this for a second. Just because I'm winning, that doesn't mean that I'm not putting money in to win. And if you're putting thousands of dollars in a slot machine to win money, you win or lose, you should get some free play out of it.
You did.
Not after I hit him hard.
12
at
hand
some
pays
point.
worth. He had to make 14 trips to the bank just to put money in there so he wouldn't get arrested for walking around with all that cash like a drug dealer.
I was his bodyguard, and I said, I'll ride with you, but I'm not your bodyguard. I said, if somebody comes up to us, G, I'll leave you. I'll run and go get help.
I did take Jeff
Yeah.
with me to the bank twice.
I mean, shit.
But you know,
That was a fun trip.
So
That Biloxi
Ed,
trip, I know we did a trip report 18 months ago, but that was one of the highlights of the year for me and for all of us was when we did the Brownwater Bash down there last year. We had around 50 people
Yeah.
show up out of the, down there. We just, we had the private table. We had the private room in the bar there for a little while in the VIP lounge and just had a great time. I mean, we were down there for 3 or 4 days, but I had to stay hid because you will get sucked into just going and playing and playing and playing and playing, and that's unhealthy. Table time will hurt you if you're not careful. So
And
I had
think
learned that the previous year.
I think that's what Arnell meant when he said meetups will get
Yeah.
the most of us because you're too busy meeting people and it's not that you're seriously playing at the table. It's just that you got so many people around the table and you want to play with them. You put bets out and because the three of us don't bet on other people the same way all the time like some people do. It's the same bet, repetitive over and over and over. But even some of us had poor days. I mean, I struggled the first 2 days until we got to the last day in Biloxi, and I have to tell you that last day was a winner for me, and that's what not only brought me back but put me on top by several 4-digit numbers.
Yep.
That was a well-run.
He gave me a big old bear hug, almost cracked my back. But that was one of the highlights is meeting Waylon and Sarge. Sarge was down there and my sister from another mother,
I
Jen.
was gonna say, don't forget Jen.
Yeah.
Yep.
The old Justice Jen herself. She made the
old
rounds. She's
Justice
been around the
Jen.
world playing craps this year. We should have had her on the show. Oh my God.
We should have.
Yeah. Oh my.
You know,
Well, look, guys, let's talk about those, break those down. But let me remind the people that just got here, the viewers, that we're giving away 2 sleeves of dice on Craps Nation on casino tiers during the show tonight. MidAtlanticCraps.com. I just pinned the link just a second ago in the chat. Scroll back there and hit that link, take you right over, get registered. We only got 12 people registered at the moment, so come on. The less that's in there, the greater chances are. But we want to see some more names in that form. All right, so where were we? Gee, we were talking about. We got up to June, but Ed and I we had a meetup sooner than that, and although it ended on a very sad note, that was a good meetup too, Ed. We had a few people there.
We tried the Tunica thing. We had I don't know 10 or so, roughly.
Yep.
Sweet Lou came in.
Yep. Drove up.
Yeah. He's a road trip guy. We had a good little crowd. We had Stoney. Who else? We had
Chris
colorblind kid.
Stagesian, Scott. I'll be honest with you, I get the two of them mixed up all the time. But I know Chris Dice, not Dice Dejan. I said Dice Dejan. Sorry,
Yeah.
Chris, Demon Dog Chris. I said Chris Demon Dog.
Demon Dog Chris came in. Yeah.
Yep. He did, yep.
We had a good little crowd there in Tunica, and we had some luck on the tables. So that was a good little crowd. Did end on a sour note. We won't get into all that tonight.
No, we won't.
I'm going over that ad nauseum.
Yep.
But we had a good trip there, and hell, I just got back from Vegas.
Yeah, you did. And I guess we can get into that here in just a few minutes. As you see, Waylon said that he thought, he'll put it back up there, and I'll follow it up with Anthony's again. He said Waylon had a blast at the Brownwater Bash. He said great job and can't wait to the next one. And Anthony seconded that. So anybody out there that wants to see a third, Ed's going to hate me for this, a third Brownwater Bash, tell Ed in the chat. He and I talked about it the other day. No dates are set, but he said he was working on it. But Ed, I know you're still working, and France, I'm sorry, 10 Ton's still working. But the two of you have got so much in the works for this year and 2025. Where are you going to find schedule to plop all these in?
It's kind of tough because you don't want to overlap with other people, and you don't want to take away crowds or groups or what have you from other people, but it's getting close. I mean, I've been boxed in on the Brownwater Bash. I kind of gotten boxed in because you got a lot going on. You got Mother's Day in May, you got Memorial Day, and then you got Father's Day coming up in June. I know Heavy's got a class down there in June, so there's a short window that if I can get it worked out, that's what we're going to have to look at. I do need to talk with my host before I set a date just to get her thoughts. And I'd like to, talk to a few other guys that made it down. I hadn't had a chance to talk to them yet about it. See if they intend on being there or not. If not, we could always push it to a later date in the year. We don't have to do it. We've always done it in early June, but we don't have to do it then. But I know people that want to fly in or whatever, they need to get their tickets. So.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing when you schedule something like this. I mean, you see I've put from your channel. By the way, guys, we're dual streaming Roll to Win Craps, Mid-Atlantic Craps, so it's a dual stream. But we don't care what channel you watch us on, just give us a thumbs up or thumbs down. It doesn't matter. But a lot of people in here are saying that they're looking forward to another one. You probably missed the previous chat I displayed, but Scotty Free said yes. You saw that one? Scotty said free.
Oh, I missed it. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Brownwater Bash 3.
Yep. And even it's a lot of fun. It's just a matter of logistics and getting everybody in, getting the coordination, depending on whether or not the casino wants us to have a private table. I mean, you got all those things, and you got people get their feelings hurt because they're not in on the table. Well, I don't have any control over that, really. It's more of a casino thing. They got to have a certain amount of play to get in, blah blah blah. It's their table. It's not my table. So right, you don't set those rules.
No, I do not. I like to participate, sometimes. I mean, I've been on 2 down there, and both ended up profitable. But that first one that me and G was on in February last year was tough for a long time. They all went to dinner, and I stayed because I wanted my money back. Ended up getting ahead, but just because you got a bunch of people that's got a YouTube channels and they're supposed to be good shooters, don't mean they're all going to have good shots.
Yeah.
Now, the one we had in June,
you stayed.
The one we had in June was beautiful. We had it was greatly run. It was greatly coordinated. I put my buddy Oz in charge of the batting order and all that stuff and positions. And I mean, we had that thing clicking, and that was as good a run table as I think you're ever going to find.
Yep, I agree.
Thank you there, Wayne, for that.
Because her Royal Majesty, the Justice, was at the table, so we had to act,
Yeah, but she helped out keeping the track of the dice rolls.
She was standing there cross-legged because she needed to go to the bathroom and didn't want to leave the table.
And then on the private
Because I was
table,
throwing the dice. And when I 7'd out, I just pretty much ran over people because I had to go pee.
Well, I mean, nobody wanted to get off the table.
Yeah.
well,
Oh
I
man.
did. I don't know who the first one was that got off. I think it was him right there. Could have been Rock, but then I got off the table and we went and had dinner. The next thing I know, I see Ryan from Mark the Point and Jen coming into the restaurant, followed by Ed, you and maybe it was you and Rock that left first because I sat with you at dinner that night on the private table, and then
Yeah.
G, Ryan,
Me,
Mark, and somebody else
yeah.
came
After
in.
after my big roll, after you guys left,
Yeah,
7 or 8 world bet come out.
that's what you said. I thought it was more than that. I thought you
I
told the
remember
story that
hearing
was.
about that.
Yeah,
You,
it may have been more. I don't know. It'll probably never happen again. It's one of those once in a lifetime. Um, you know, but I saw Lisa said something about the Dolly Parton cutout. Dolly Parton is going to make a comeback next year. We're
so
gonna
That had to
have.
be G.
yeah.
G turned into a leg humper after his experience years
Hey,
ago.
hey, you said bring it. You said bring it.
I hit
And
them
after I
kids
hit
for
the
it.
hard four for you. After I hit the hard four for you, it took them what, 15 minutes to pay the people on the hard four? Because I'm sitting there
That
waiting
was a
and waiting
lot.
and waiting.
Yeah,
There was a lot of people on the hard four.
and I think I had like maybe 5 or 10. Oh, and yours it wasn't, but one of the other times, I don't know if Ed was throwing or something or other. I had only $5 or $10. You guys had green and black chips on the hard ways. I don't usually play those prop bets. I really don't.
Yeah.
They were hitting. They hit all weekend. Didn't matter if it was that table or what. They hit all weekend. Hard ways like I've never seen in hands over and over and over and over.
Yep.
Yep. So since the bash, I know Ed, you went to Vegas and had the casino tiers back.
I don't know who this guy is who gave you a super chat there. I know
Yeah,
that,
I can tell you who it is. That's Nemo.
but, well, then he don't need to show up.
Yeah, yeah. He's back on the scene. Nemo is, and
No.
Yeah.
let him come
I
down.
mean, really, no.
I'd love to meet David.
Yeah, people don't. I mean, it's just you show up and you're just there. I mean, there's nothing organized during the whole thing other than just having a few drinks. So that's the only thing that was really organized for the whole weekend. It's just everybody's
The
there.
food and
Run it,
beverages
you
were
get-
the only
you-
thing that's organized.
Yeah. So I mean, there's nothing organized. There's nothing. I mean, everybody just meets up. People were running all over Biloxi, hitting different tables and having a good
Yeah,
time with people they
we
just met.
Hey,
Come
come
on,
out
stay at the
7
Hard
is
Rock.
absolutely correct.
Yeah.
French
Well, yeah,
yeah,
Hard
yeah,
Rock's
yeah.
my home station. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know, G. You eat better after you hit that breakfast thing in the morning. He says pastries, but I remember you were doing the
Donuts.
breakfast, whatever it is, because you like your coffee and cookies. I don't know how you do that. You got hot chocolate tonight or coffee?
I have coffee, and my wife didn't bring me any Oreos, so it's
my-
Oreo-free coffee.
Can't you buy it? Let's keep it moving, guys. We've got 30 people registered for the dice giveaway. This is going to be the last call while Ed and G continue to talk. I'm going to download the data, and we're going to give away a sleeve of dice here in a little bit. MidAtlanticCraps.com promotion tab. There's a script at the top. Fill it out and make sure that you have all the data in there. And we're going to give those away in the next 5 minutes. So get over there and fill that form out. All right, let's continue.
So Ed, you had several
what else you want?
casino trips after the bash, and I had some. So go ahead and talk about yours, and I'll talk about mine with Yo 11 and the rest of the gang here up in Cherokee.
Immediately after, hell, man, that was so long ago. I don't even remember for sure. I mean, that was in June. I know I probably went in July. I know I went in August once back down there. I may have skipped July, to be honest with you.
Is that when you went back because your wife had a ticket to cash in? Was that your excuse?
No, that was in January of last
Okay.
year, actually.
All right.
She brought back like a $600 ticket that she forgot to cash in. from New Year's, and it only had a 60-day limit on it. And I said, well, I guess I got to go back and cash your ticket. So yeah, I went down there with my buddy of mine. I call him the money man or money bags or something like that. The bag man. He plays. He's a good friend of mine, but he just plays blackjack. But we went back down there so I could cash that ticket in. Sure
Well,
did. Bam, I went back in August. I know right before Labor Day. I didn't want to be there during the Labor Day weekend. My wife and I just went the weekend before, and we had a good time. And then until December, I had not been back to Biloxi. I'd been other places, but I'd been to Tunica
You had your
once, and
meetup
then went
with
back.
Bo and
Then I went to Vegas. Yep,
yep.
spent
Yep.
6 days in Vegas.
and your
But
Vegas
you've been to
experience.
Biloxi since then, right?
I was in Biloxi a couple of weeks ago on my birthday. Yes,
Yeah.
You still celebrate those? I thought when you got to that age, you didn't celebrate them. But I don't.
I didn't have a
celebrate mine
choice
anymore.
because this is the one that puts you on Medicare.
Well, today
AARP's had been after me for 100 years, and I still ignore them.
I
Oh,
get
so you
those
hit
things in the
60.
mail. Yeah.
65.
You don't look a day over
65.
55.
Well, exactly 1 month from today, I turn another year older, or another month older. It's my birthday coming up in January. But let's stay on topic here, and let's not take jabs at each other. We can save that till the end of the show. There are 79 people between both channels watching. I have 32 entries. This is the last call for the first dice. I have the box right here. This is the Craps Nation dice we're going to give away first. 79 with 32 entries. MidAtlanticCraps.com promotion tab. Let's talk about. Gee, I know what kind of year you had, especially after this past weekend. And I don't even want to hear about the Randy lady that you walked up to the table and had 25, 25, 25, and she continued to roll forever and hit the ATS for you. But let's talk about in a totality of the year, good or bad, or I don't want to say under or over or broke even, but overall, let's each one of us take a stab at what we thought our year was as far as overall playing, how we played, whether you just give a thumbs up or thumbs down if you're up or down for the year. You don't have to say how much it was, but let's talk about that. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, G.
Yeah.
I'll go first. So overall, thumbs up. I think I played crowded tables a lot more than what I would like. Because as folks know, I like to play on open tables and stuff like that. But with meetups and stuff, sometimes you just don't get that choice because you're there to play with friends. There were some lessons learned, what to do and what not to do. I'm still learning. I'm always learning. But overall, I'm happy where I'm ending the year, especially after last weekend.
All right.
You mean yesterday?
Or do you mean, was that the slot
yesterday.
play, or was that the
it was
craps?
yesterday. It was
Well,
yesterday, yes.
G, is that slot and craps together, or just craps?
Just scraps. Like I said, I mean, I had a lot of jackpots, but
On the slot machine you did. I was there for 4 of them.
yeah, but
You have to
doing
have
the
a horseshoe
math-
up your butt.
No, yeah, but doing the math, I honestly don't think it's worth it.
Well, you'll see when you pull down your sheets from the casino, whatever they call that.
Win-loss tables.
Thank you.
I'll make a
I'm
determination.
pulling down the
that,
data now for the dice. First dice giveaway. Keep talking,
I
guys.
will make, because it tells you how much play table games and slots. So it will tell me this, and I'll make a better determination. But the more I have to give Uncle Sam, his share from the slots, the more it's like, I don't know. Go ahead, Ed.
Well, all
Well,
right,
I'm not going to feel sorry for you for winning money, dude. I'm not going to feel sorry for you. I mean, a net after tax is still a net after tax.
Yep.
Okay.
But it's gotta be worth it. Let's talk about that for a second. It
It's
has to
just,
be worth it.
I agree. It's just like when I play sports bets 5 hours away, it's got to be worth it for me to drive back down there if I hit it.
Right.
That's why I do the large parlays with a significant, $100 bet, anywhere from a 4 to an 8-teamer. I want it to be worth it if I hit it, and I missed two weeks ago, two big ass parlays. One was a 5-team, one was 8-team. I missed them by one game, both of them by one game.
So let me ask you and Jeff this, okay? And I'm using this as a hypothetical. If you risk in slots over the year, let's say $80,000, okay? And
That ain't
your
happening.
net. No. Hypothetical, right? Hypothetical.
I got
Let's
you.
say 80,000,
I got you.
okay? And your net is $2,000. Is it worth risking 80,000 for the $2,000?
No, not for
No,
two.
No. You
That's
can't
what
put no
I'm saying.
entertainment
For
value
20,
to that.
but for 20, maybe. For
20, but
another
in order to get
40,
20, in order to pocket 20, you have to literally be at 50 or 60 because, Uncle Sam's going to take a huge chunk of that. And to get 50 or 60, you're going at a different level now. In a slot play. I mean, you're betting $75 a pull or $300 a pull in order to get that kind of a jackpot. I have to. It's gonna be a good talk sometimes for a show, but I have to get the facts together before I make that statement. But right now, I'm just moving to this side, which is, I don't know, maybe it's not worth it after all.
I told you, bet smaller.
But maybe I look at this different because I know you two are the professionals, or as Jethro would say, you guys are professional. And I'm new to the serious craps playing from only 5 years into it. Been playing craps for a long time, cruise ship player, and then my poker room shut down. You guys know the story. Started playing craps before COVID. But you have to put an entertainment value and or a vacation value when you travel out of the area to cover some of the expenses. And I know we always talk about a break even is a win, but gee, that 80,000 is outside of my pockets. What I would expect to win during the year. Not that I would not love to do it. I just didn't play enough. But there's got to be some type of entertainment and vacation or personal trip, not business trip that you have to put on that price tag. So if 80 for two or two for 80,
it's
no.
fun. It's fun, especially if you have your wife and your guys are sitting there, playing and stuff like that. There is some fun value. And by the way, that 80,000 was a hypothetical.
Okay.
So James wants to move away from slots. He doesn't want to
I agree with him. That's why I put that up there. But it's all part of gaming because you do that. But Ed and I strictly slots, and occasionally Ed and I, one time before we sat at down at I think it was at Harrah's, and we played some baccarat. But other than that, you just from a standpoint of Ed said a good year, you said a good year. I only played outside of my area 6 times, getting ready to go on the 7th trip for 24. I'll end it out just leaving just before New Year's Eve. I did okay, but I won more than I did in 23. Now, let me ask you this a serious question. I played less, won more. That's good for me. But it's like you said, G, when you go on these meetups, and Arnell said the same thing, when you go on these meetups, you have a tendency to, I don't want to say not take it serious because you are taking it serious, but it's the social side of that game. And our group at Atlantic City has come to know that it's not about socializing, it's about taking over the entire table, all 12 or 14 spots, and we do what we do without having a private table. Doesn't always happen, but we try to do that. Usually by the end of a session, they're all filled with our group members when we're in town for that week. And I think I only went that many times. Did anybody got anything like an analogy to give? Playing more, winning the same with playing less. Am my mind not here? Am I not thinking right?
I think you're doing good if you played less and won the same or more, dude.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
also also
Time
played
at the
with a
time at the table is not your friend. We've said that a million
Right.
times. I mean, so if you're spending more time at the table, then you have more opportunity to lose. Um,
correct.
so you did very well. You went trip after trip after trip net positive because you were giving me kind of totals as you went
Yep.
along.
Except for my last one.
And and it was a long time till that last one you talked about
Yep.
where you had a bad trip.
But
One
I
bad
told you.
trip out of
But
8
I
or
knew
whatever.
it was 6. It's going to be 7. But I knew that I was due for a loss. And Ed, I called you up and I said, "Look, I said yesterday was bad, today's bad." And you said, "What are table stakes?" And I said, "Well, most of the time they're 10. One table at nighttime's 15. The other table's a 25." He said, and you said, told me, while you're on the $10 table, quit playing like you're on a $25 table. Play the $10 limits. It had changed, and I didn't lose as much, and I didn't win more than or win as much as I could have. But that was some good advice because the tables there were bouncy, and it took me a while to get used to it. And then the last night I was there, not the last day, we had some really good rolls. I had my best roll that night, and 4 or 5 other people at the table had one really good roll, and that's what brought me back. And yeah, I was getting ready to suck up the couple $1,000 loss for that trip, and I was only down 1,300 for the trip, and that was my one session loss for the season. And I know that several of my other friends that they go and travel, they've had much bigger losses than that, but they play more than I do. So, G, any comment on playing less and don't talk about slots. We're keeping it to the craps.
No, 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 no. I mean, you know, I know some YouTubers out there give the eyes a hard time because or through the eyes a hard time because we say, when a long roll happen or when you get your money, take a break. They think that just because you're the eye, you should sit there and just kind of kill the table. Um,
It doesn't happen.
once,
Yeah.
twice around the table, and that's it for me. Especially if I'm up, you go take a break.
But that's your
Yesterday,
social playing because you really play by yourself, G. We want to walk up the table and have nobody else there.
right, right, and I mean, usually if I 2 maybe 3 times, if I do good the first one, I may just color up and leave. If I roll, if I get my bank, my first roll, I'm gone. Um, there's there's a certain peer pressure to get on the table and play when you're with other when you're with the group, like not this past yesterday, but the past one before that, when I pretty much donated money at Cherokee. uh, Disciplined Gargoyle would have said, no, hell no, I'm not putting $1 on that table. Change the tables, bouncy tables, I don't know what the heck they're doing. I'm not putting real money on the table. I may take some funny money. But because we were there and we were social and the wives were there and stuff like that, I said, let's give it a try. Not making excuses. Lost money. It is what it is. But um, when you lose money, you minimize your losses and you leave. You don't sit there and try and recoup it because it ain't working. It's not worth it.
I don't
Um,
think it. I don't think I was trying to recoup it. That wasn't the problem. I was venting to Ed. I was venting to him, what had taken place, and his advice were, dude, play the game like a $10 table. You don't have to play it like a $25 table, which is
yeah,
true. And
yeah, you don't have to. But here's
well,
here's
see,
the one thing
hold it,
that
G, hold it. Dustin said I had a lack of a positive attitude and I was looking to lose, but I don't think that was the case, Dustin. But
I was going to talk about that.
go ahead.
I didn't tell you before, but
Huh?
now you mentioned. I'm going to say that again.
I got. Go
Me
ahead.
personally, I wouldn't say I will never say I'm due a loss. You know, we all lose sometimes at some point, but always think positive that you're gonna go in and you're gonna come out a winner. Don't think that if a loss happens, don't say I'm due a loss. See what happened and why that loss came, and see if you can learn from it and not do it again. That's my only thing that I would do different. No, no,
All
makes
right.
sense or not?
let me put this chat up here, and then I'm gonna give away a sleeve of dice. Let me and we'll come back to that. I'm not sure I have double things up there. There we go. Let me get that off the screen. Why is that stuck? Maybe it's stuck up there. I don't know. Oh, there it goes. Do a loss. Nobody heads to the casino, no matter what game you're playing, and you're due for a loss. I told Ed that, man, I know a loss has got to be coming because let's face it, guys, we've played this game long enough, or we've gambled long enough. You can't always win. Whether you're playing poker against somebody or you're playing against somebody else. I mean,
They're going to happen.
Yeah, they're going to happen. That's what I was trying to say. Ed. Thank you. My
They're going to happen.
Messed up on me.
But what I would say
It's what
is
you do after they happen that matters.
Exactly. Do a history check on what happened. Did I lose because I was betting like crazy, or did I not pay attention? Do like a self, pretty much chat with yourself in the mirror and see if there's a lesson that can be learned so that you can move forward from it. I think that's what Ed and I are saying. There's always a lesson to be learned from every time you go to the casino, regardless of whether it's a win, loss, or.
Oh, I agree with that. I do agree with that. Elisa says here, she asked me a question. Did you practice the same amount in both years? Do you toss better at casinos than you do to a practice session? Lisa, I've had here lately. I've been in a rut, and both Ed and G have heard me talk about a show on the show. But I'm entertaining you. I'm entertaining you on the show, on my daytime shows. It's entertainment. It's kind of hard for me to concentrate. I didn't bet as much in 2024 as I did 2023 because I didn't go as much. But my bets were near about the same because working with people like Ed and G and El Toro and Heavy and those type of guys, I've changed my whole game. My whole outlook on the game is different. And when I did that in late 2022, I saw a significant difference in the times I was losing compared to the times that I was winning. And the times I was winning more. And the times that I was losing less. But that's a whole nother show. We could probably talk about that for a while. Let's give some dice away, shall we?
Let's give some dice away.
All right.
By the way, I'm going to call rigged, even though I haven't put my name in.
Be quiet. Look, guys, I downloaded this about 8 to 10 minutes ago, so if you put your name in there, you don't see it, I'm going to redo it on the next giveaway, because right now I'm going to pull a sleeve of dice out of this one and give this away. If you won in this first one, you can't win in the second one, even though your name may still be in there. If we have a duplicate, then we're just going to draw again on the second drawing. You have to be here. I need to see it in the chat that says you're here and you're with the dice. Otherwise, after a few minutes, we don't see you in the chat, we're going to give it away again. So you got to be here for the chat. And let's go ahead and give this first sleeve of dice away. Let's open up, see what we got here. This is Craps Nation dice. It's the red dice. I don't know if you can see that or not on this camera. I don't want to spill them. They're going to fall on my computer. Get my finger out of the way, Jeff. How about I get that thumb out of the way? Anyway, red dice.
Red one.
Serial number 2335 is going to be the serial number, and I have not played with these. All the other dice that you see back there that I have to ship out, all those gold things you see right behind me right there, they're dice that I have to ship in the month of December. Mid-Atlantic Craps gave away 24 sleeves. Actually, it's more than that, but 24 sleeves of dice will be given away because this is over 24 sleeves of dice that we've given away. So let's go ahead and switch to the prize screen. Here's all the names that were in there. I think it was 37. Yeah, it's 37. It's kind of hard to see, but we'll see what happens with it. So let's go ahead and give us away. How about we do it?
Nice Christmas colors there, Mac.
I didn't pay attention to that, Ed, but you're right. They are Christmas colors. I wasn't even playing. Of course, my logo spinning in the middle there. That's kind of Christmassy. Crapsmasy, I should say Crapsmasy. Let's go ahead and spin it. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Round and round she goes. Where it stops, we'll soon know. Wayne, no, Stoney. Is it going to stop? Stoney. You're the winner. Stoney. Couldn't think of a finer person to win. All of you that were in there could have won that. But Stoney, what I need you to do is I need you to head over to Mid-Atlantic Craps now. Same page you went to, just above that script. I need you to go in and claim your prize, and please fill out all the information in the city, state, and zip line. There's no spaces for city, state, and zip. Just put it all on one line, and we'll be giving away the Casino Tiers dice, which is over here in this box. The nice Christmas set of dice. There's red and green ones in here that we're going to be giving away here in just a little bit. I said we were going to do this at the halfway mark. Gee, you're not going to believe this, but we've been streaming for an hour. That's why I tried to get this.
We haven't started talking yet.
I'm telling you. See, Ed and I are sitting back going, "Okay, G, keep going, keep talking, fill the time." But anyway, congratulations to
He's
Stoney
like a
on that.
commercial.
And we've got one more sleeve of dice. So if you're already entered, you don't have to enter again. We're going to draw from. I'm going to download the updated list. We had 36 people in the previous one. We have almost 100 watching between what D8 said and when I checked Ed's stream, I was at about 54. Ed was in the high 40s. So we've got to be close to 100 watching. We want to see 50 people registered when we go for this, at least 50 registered when we go give away this next sleeve of dice. Casino grade dice. These were the Craps Nation. We'll do the Casino Tiers on the next one. All right. What do you want to move on to now, G?
We know. Well, let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on here in the near future.
All right. Have at it.
We ain't finished the past yet.
Yeah, that's what I
We
said.
ain't finished the Christmas. We ain't finished Christmas past yet.
There's more.
Yeah,
What
there's
else is
more.
I just got back from Vegas.
Yep.
You know, one of my highlights, Jeff. I know Sweet Lou's out there somewhere. But to watch Sweet Lou set the 6th point on the fire bet
Yep.
one morning was so much fun, and it was just like it's like the greatest thing to watch Lou just stay dialed in. Now he obviously hit the 5 point because he hit the 6. You know, he set the 6 point, which was a 10. 10 was our nemesis that whole weekend trip there in Vegas, but Lou he was Lou. I mean, he'd set the 6, hit the 6, hit the 8, set the 8, hit the 8, 9, 5, 4, set the 10. That was a nice little extra payday on that little prop bet action. When Sweet Lou popped in there and hit that fire bet, 5 point fire bet. It was fantastic.
I was not there. You guys got up too early for me. You know, Ed, I'm not a morning person, but it was certainly a nice story to listen to. Because a five bet fire bet pays nice. You know, it
yeah,
six
I think it was
6 is sweet.
6 was 500 to 1. I think the 5 was, if I'm not mistaken, 250 to 1. I had $5 on it. So that was a good little bet.
Yep.
What's going on?
We had a good time. You know, we played in Vegas. I flew in on, I think, Tuesday evening. Stayed till the next Monday. And so if you want to talk about, you got to be disciplined and manage your bankroll and how you're going through the process of playing and not playing, and then having good sessions, and then having some really, 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 really bad sessions, which I had two really bad sessions, and still walk away kind of up. That's pretty good. But we had some, good times running around. You know, we had Shooter Maine there, Cedric. We had Lou. We had Leanne, L.A. as we call her.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm forgetting somebody. Mudslide Mac was there running around with us. We had a good time for a couple of days, and then we got kind of busy into our Casino Tiers event, which went really well. It went really, really well. Great cocktail party on Friday night on the 31st floor overlooking the Strip. We had our event there with Bo, the dice coach, Bo, on Saturday and Sunday. And we've got a lot of people committed and going to be there in March. We're doing one in March. We got one in October. We've already got 3 people signed up for the October class or meetup event. So
For 2025.
Yes.
Yep.
We can talk about that more later if you want, but no, it's been a fantastic year from, I hadn't done a lot of YouTube stuff. I kind of laid off.
Well, I
One
think we'll
thing
get
that
to-
I did different this year, I came in with the reaction videos.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a different little thing that nobody was doing. Then a few people tried it and they've kind of not doing it now, but I just dropped one the other day. If I doubt Brian's still in here, but I'm gonna have to knock him upside the head when I see him because he sent me a video to to do one on, and I did it, and I was like, I couldn't tell. I'm gonna drop that one probably New Year's Day, but I mean I did it last night, and it was funny because it was one of the most hilarious videos I think I've ever been involved with trying to do a reaction to. And I probably offended somebody by the time when this comes out. I'm probably going to offend you. And if I offend you, I'm sorry, but I couldn't.
I'm curious to know. I'm curious to know which one it is because I think you've had suggestions or recommendations for a few others too. But we'll have to talk offline because I don't want you to mention it now. But I like the reaction videos. It's something that that it's really hard to do without being either critical or positive in some aspects because you want to be sincere. And Ed, I know you since the 3 years that I've known you. You're a straight shooter, and face to face or in the internet, you tell it like it is, and you don't worry about what somebody thinks. And if you're wrong, you'll admit it. But on these reaction videos, what I've seen, I think you've been spot on. I think it's spot on. Look, guys, for those of you watching on my channel, Stoney's here, so the first set of dice is away. There he is right there, Stonewall Jackson. All right, so Ed, your reaction videos. You got one drop in New Year's. I guess they're going to continue in 25?
Do what now? I was reading Justice Jen's comment.
Oh, I'm going to put that up because we got to go back to her previous one. I want to talk about that previous one. You said you have a reaction video drop in New Year's Day 2025.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to wait and drop it on New Year's Day because I did say Happy New Year's at the end of it. Yeah, D-Jen, this one's more funny than yours, the one I did with you. I mean, this one, I couldn't. I just laughed and laughed and laughed. And then I finally, I don't want to get into it, but because you just got to see it. But I had to speed it up because I didn't want it to go too long. And it's a bunch of it's three Asian guys, and I mean it's just funny. It's hilarious.
I don't know that I've seen that because I don't watch a lot of YouTube. I know people on here asking who's the best YouTube channel.
I would never have found them. I never would have found these. I never would have found these guys. Brian sent it to me a message the other night, and he said you need to react to it. And I pulled it up and I looked at the thumbnail and I went, okay, I'm going to react to it. And I just blindly reacted. I blindly reacted to it as it happened. So there was no pre-watch to it. It was like, okay, I'll do that one. So I've enjoyed those, and if I've made people mad,
I don't know that you made it. I don't know if you made anybody mad. My question for you would be: did you ever hear back from any of them other than the one that you and Chris Dice-Dejan did? Because that was hilarious. For those of you who didn't see it, he played along online. One of those online betting things, and then
that was odd. That was an odd one. Got him.
They had a dealer that didn't know how to deal because they got this little machine throwing the dice, but they have a dealer that didn't. The point came out on a 12, and he actually puts the puck in the bubble in the field. I mean, that was good. Oh my gosh!
I don't know. The paper plate man was the funniest for me.
Can I go back just a second? Jen, can you tell me a little bit more about what you want out of that? Jeff was living at the edge of something profound about betting. I don't know what you're talking about, Jen. So continue, guys. Continue.
What were you talking? You had nuggets of wisdom, Jeff?
I don't have any. I'm just the entertainer here. I'm the producer of the show, putting this stuff together. I don't know what she was. That's why I said put it in there if you would, Jen. While she's here, let's go ahead and put this one up here. I'm trying to go to a March meetup. It's tricky. Okay. All right. So finish the story here with the reaction videos, and then we can continue on.
Well, some of them I really try not to be too tough on the people, but I try to give you a realistic view of what I think at the same time. And then some of them are just so stupid, you just got to know what I think. So you can like them, not like them. I mean, it's like Jimmy Cricket. I mean, I mentioned him. I mentioned Jiminy Cricket in my last video, the one that's going to drop on the first.
I don't call him that, but I got a message from him that said that he must listen to us, and Jimmy, or whatever your name is. I really wish that you'd reply to the emails. I've got two for you. One that Crapsmas Journey Joe gave me, and one that we communicated before. But he said that I said something. I don't call him that. I know other shows have, but there's no bones
I do.
about some.
I don't have a problem. I'm
No.
this guy right here. I call him Jiminy Cricket. So if you got something bad to say about me, Jimmy, just it's me. I'm the one that calls you Jimmy Cricket. But I am so glad. I'm going to say this right now. I am so freaking happy that since you make $1 million a year gambling, that you finally bought a legitimate stick for your homemade craps table.
All right, Ed. Let's keep that down, because I think he refilled his glass twice during the show. Tell us how you really feel.
Oh man.
I lost my place. What were we talking about?
Jiminy
Well,
Cricket?
Move on.
I think and what kind of weather? Do you have any snow over there, Jeff? Let's change.
No snow. We have flurries the
Let's
other
talk
day, but no
about
snow.
drones. You seen them craps drones? Have you seen them craps drones flying around the sky up there?
No, but I'll tell you, in Salisbury, Maryland, the other day, there was 3 of them above. Whether they were drones, they weren't helicopters, they weren't planes, but I saw them for myself, and I'm not
Those
trying
are
to
craps
go off
drones.
that. Yeah, craps drones. That's what they are. They're just rolling around.
Those are craps drones. They're zooming. You got those. You got to have a bird dog to hunt them things, because I mean, those are craps drones. Those are not drones. Those are craps drones.
Right.
Yep.
All right. Let's move on. Where were we, guys? We still have another sleeve of dice to give away. If you just joined the show, like Clay just got here late, hit MidAtlanticCraps.com promotion tab, get signed up. We're up to 40. What was it a minute ago? 47. I want to hit 50 signed up. We got 47 currently. All right. Let's move on. Let's keep it going.
From our side, Jeff, you and I did several common sense shows this year.
Yep.
We're going to continue something similar next year with an added bonus. There was a hiccup this year, when I came in and stuff happened and things were said and I was done, but then people talked some sense into me about more people are getting value out of what we YouTubers, the good ones at least, are helping others than not being on there helping others. So I said, yeah, I'm just gonna put a blind ear and a blind eye to the haters and just keep moving. But we've had some good conversations, all 3 of us. We had some craps chats, not craps chats. What are they called? Jeff, Mutt Jeff, and the Butthead.
Yeah, that's what it. Mutt Jeff and Beavis and
I'm the
Mutt Jeff
Butthead.
and Butthead. Yep.
Yeah. Although craps chat,
Well, you're the
they
Butthead. I'm
had
Mutt.
some good.
Yeah.
They had some good series on there, I think I'm just glad. I'm just glad that there are people, overall during the year, and even now in the chat are putting that they've actually, cipher through all the BS and all the fun stuff that we do and stuff like that. They've actually learned something to make them better in the casino overall, whether it's betting, whether it's DI, or I'm glad that what we're doing here, there's a camaraderie, not just between the 3 of us, but between everybody, from YouTube in the chats and in the meetups. But there's value gained, and this is, to me personally. Now I don't have a YouTube channel, but me personally, being able to come out here and share my experiences, um, and let others learn a little bit about it, that's, to me, that's like the best thing that ever happened, because I'm paying it forward. You got to remember, I did a triangle earlier. You know, I stayed a lot of time with Heavy. Yeah, I'll get it from you. I spent a lot of time with Heavy. Heavy taught me money management and betting. He did teach me the part toss also. I spent a lot of time with Howard. May he rest in peace. And this is one thing we didn't talk about, and I hope we hit on it. We lost Howard this year. Um, Howard taught me how to think outside the box and how to do all these tosses. So I learned, all these on access tosses from him. Bo, dice coach, taught me discipline. He engraved discipline. If you want to learn, if you want to learn discipline, but you gotta promise not to hate the guy at the end, because you're gonna get to a point where you're gonna hate to call him. But if you stick with it, dice coach will teach you discipline. I'm paying it forward because that helped me. And so if that helps, all the crap that we get on and we just talk and say jokes and stuff like that, all that is fun and camaraderie. But if somebody is getting benefit from it and saving their money and even making money, to me, that's the biggest gain of the whole year, the entire year. I see that with Yo 11 and Jay and Georgia Girl, even now she's coming into the fold, because I meet them a lot and I talk to them a lot. And really, you know, pretty much Yo 11 and Jay said that they'll beat my, you know, take me out in the woods and beat my ass if I don't come back on YouTube and start doing some stuff. And so, and they will do it too. And this is not bragging, this is not patting myself on the back. I'm just being grateful that my experiences have taught somebody else something. And I know, Ed, you've been doing it for a long time on YouTube. This is my first year, not even a year here. Ed, you've been doing this for a long time. Jeff, you've been doing it a long time. You guys are, paved the way along with others on YouTube, So for me to come in with you two and you guys accepting me in and bringing me in as a guest and stuff like that, that meant a lot for me this year. And I want to thank you both for that.
Well, you're welcome, but I think Ed did it with his Tales of the Table, which was 2023. Ed, any of those coming back? I know you had mentioned a couple names a month or so ago when we were talking about it.
Actually, I've got 3 people lined up to record for the next 3 Tales of the Table already, this coming in 2025.
All right, cool.
So
That's
yes.
And yes, Rick, let me answer this, Chad. Yes, he was, but that's not me. I'm not Jeff. That's Dice Setter Jeff. All right, go ahead, Ed.
Yes, dice setters. Yeah, I love that guy. So yeah, no, we're gonna. I've actually got a couple of scheduled recordings already. I've had 3 commits. I'm going to bring in some more people that have been instrumental or have a good story to tell as far as their craps journey, and some of them are legends in a way. I know definitely one of them is a definite legend, and so I decided, I'm not doing a lot of shooting videos anymore. Let's go back to what people like. I'm doing the reaction videos. I'm doing the going to do some tales from the table as I can get them done. All my shooting videos done I do on my private channel on the Patreon. So
All right. Well,
not trying to advertise it, but that's just the way it is.
Let's talk about the shooting videos one moment. Both G and I, and I'm pretty sure probably somebody said something to you, they like it when the 3 of us got on there. And I'm not saying we're trying to do live fantasy craps like Arnell does, because he does one fine job. Every Wednesday night, here's your plug, Arnell. Every Wednesday night, Dice Grinders. Go over, like, and subscribe. It's Arnell at Dice Grinders and Casino Gaming TV. He dual streams. We don't do live fantasy craps like Arnell. He has a lot of shooters. But people enjoyed our shows when we did that because we joked and kid and carried on. The later the night went, the more brown water Ed drank, the funnier it got. And John would call me the next morning and say, "I can't believe John that Ed said that." But any idea? Maybe we could do one or two of those, before summertime.
Before summertime. We didn't got the spring yet, dude.
You got busy schedule. I mean, we listen to what's coming up.
It is weird how my schedule has gotten kind of weird, but
That's what happens.
I would
when
say
you become famous.
I don't have a
stuff.
problem with it as long as I ain't got to run that mechanical machine that you got to punch them buttons into.
And that's what happens when you become famous and do stunts on Yellowstone.
Well, I actually put that up there, all but the Yellowstone. Somebody actually said that when you come up there. I want to answer a question real quick. Somebody asked me, I don't know if it was Lisa, it could have been Georgia girl, one or the other was a female, asked how much the Craps for the Cure made for 2025. I don't know the exact total. Jen probably knows more than I do. They met their goal of $25,000. For those of you that didn't see the episode of the show, and Ed, I don't want to get too much in it. Ed knows what I'm saying here. They put the service dog in Ed's son's name. That's all we're going to say about that, Ed. I don't want to bring any down thing here, but God bless you and Tina for what you gave this year and his service that he gave when he was in the service. But overall, they did $25,000. My channel itself it's half of what I gave last year because I didn't try as much this year. Was $2,255, but they met their goal. So I'm going to answer that question. I can't go back. My chat's giving me a fit here.
I think I remember. John
I want to say.
Whatever it is, they met their goal.
I don't know if it was. I know it was around 27. It may have ended up being higher, but 27,000 or so. And the next one next year, if I understand it correctly, is in September.
Yes, it is. It's over John's birthday, middle of September sometime. I don't know. The 15th. This seems to me it rings a bell. I don't know. Maybe Jen knows.
Who knows? I might show up one day.
Well, it'd be nice. I missed this year, and I was there the previous 2 years, and I was on the show live for the first year. But it was a good time. Just things 2024, personal life-wise, health-wise, and family-wise. Just can
I say this real quick?
Sure.
Dusted thinks I'm a little bit tipsy.
I don't hear it yet. Do you hear it,
He
G?
is not correct.
No.
You're a lot tipsy.
Dusted is not. Dusted is no. Dusted is not correct.
All right.
Sorry.
Yeah, I can hear it in his voice. Sometimes you can see it. I've been with Ed. I know how he gets. But with us, with G and me and Ed, it's a good time.
That's a lot of bourbon in that glass, in the cup.
This is Diet Coke.
So look,
I've got a bottle of Fiji water if they want to sponsor our get-togethers.
Gee, here you go. She wants to see some more Laura Croft and Dolly. I got a couple questions.
You know what? I think every now and then on a Friday, we can just do a rollout. I mean, heck, my stuff is backing up. I sent you the pictures because Club, we're gonna do some stuff next year.
G, Ed and I knew. I lost a bet. Ed had the date earlier than I did of when you'd be back with us, and I lost a bet. It was only $1, but I lost. I owe Ed $1 for that bet. But welcome back, G.
It took a lot of convincing. I tell you, because I was done.
How hard did they pull on his finger there to get him to come back, G? I mean Ed for G.
It was just a slight tug on the pinky.
Yep, that's what I thought it was.
That's all it was.
Oh, let me see what.
Ask Mr. Yo 11.
Well, we do have some time constraints on the channel here, Ed.
All right,
G,
so Justice Jen wants to know how you changed your betting style after talking with G and Ed, whatever that means.
It just wasn't talking. I'll give a real quick Reader's Digest condensed version. I won't be as long as G is when he talks. I started working with Ed just about 2.5, 3 years ago, and I sent him my role on video for him to review. And from that video, he and I have been friends, and I talk to him several times a week. he got me to change the dice set, gave me more confidence in my ability when I'm shooting, although I haven't produced it on video yet, but I don't care because I'm doing what I'd like to do. And from that standpoint, we got talking about betting. And from betting, his trend betting, let's not get on that discussion of trend betting, made sense to me, and it worked for me. So, Jen, I know over the past week or so, 2 weeks or so, that you've been talking about what you've been doing and how you've been playing on the various different shows. I know Brian's kind of fussed at you, and John's kind of fussed at you, and I think even Joe in the morning over at Crapsmas Journey has kind of teased you a little bit. But the betting style was not the same bets on every person, a specific bet what's hitting, and roll with it. But with that, along with G's philosophy that he gave just I don't know, on the last Common Sense Crap show we had, 640 of a $5,000 bankroll. Now, I don't bet this way, is 8%. And G, correct me if I'm wrong. On a $500 bankroll, the 688 place bet is 8% of the bet. Now, I'm going to scale that down. El Toro, my good friend El Toro, who I'd like to talk to because I haven't heard from him in a few weeks, actually convinced me that a larger initial bet with a fast regression before the magical number comes has paid off for me. I'm not going to say it's going to pay off for you. It's paid off for me. So I'm starting higher, regressing fast. As Ed says, get the bet paid for. Doesn't matter what's one or all of them. I got the bet paid for. And then when the hand was paid for, if it was over with, okay, no harm, no foul. I didn't lose anything. Except for my come-out action. You guys know I play the ATS on every shooter. You know that. I've had more luck on the random than I have on somebody setting the dice. But in a nutshell, that's how the betting changed. Reader's Digest conversion over.
That was a very, very condensed Reader's Digest.
I know. I had to start thinking about it. I said that. But I started out with setting the dice and then came back to that. But it is. I mean, you talk to somebody that's done this for years and years, that's successful. And I believe, there's not just Ed, not just you, G. I've seen you do it. I got to play with El Toro. And I've had many, many afternoon sessions with him where we've talked about betting styles, betting strategies, what he did wrong in his beginning journey. We've all know the story G told about what he did wrong. Ed, you've been around the craps table since I think they were really using the actual bone portion of a bone to make. I'm just kidding, dice. But so when you hang out with those types of people, you pick up little nuggets, for use Jen's word, little nuggets of what helps you. And when you put that into context and you put it into play, and you see the results, you have to believe. It's the season to believe. What can I say?
Well, the hardest part for many people is to displace themselves from what they see on, say, a YouTube channel versus what's being thrown in front of them. And until they learn to bet the table as it's being tossed in front of them, they're going to have a very hard time. They're going to have ups and downs and ups and downs and a lot of downs, really, quite frankly, because systems only work when you re-record something 14 times and show the one that wins.
Correct. Yep.
So in real life, you got to learn how to read tables, learn how to read a shooter or tosser. And are you going to bet right side, wrong side? I know G doesn't fool with the dark side. I do. But you got to learn, how am I going to play this type of thing? Simple things, Jeff. It's like, okay, let's just say you're going to play the don't. Let's just say you're going to play the don'ts. You don't know this person. I'm going to start out betting the don'ts. Well, if I place a don't pass bet, then I do not have an edge. I am behind on that first toss. 7 or 11, I'm going to lose. So why would I place the don't pass? The only reason I would want to place the don't pass is if I want to use the free odds. If I'm flat betting, just lay the point, because you're going to be laying the point anyway. So if you're just going to lay the point, let's just say $50. If you're going to do a DP for $50, just lay the point for $50. That way you're not exposed to the come out 7 or 11. Then you're at an advantage. Why would you, if you're not going to take advantage of the free odds and you're just going to be a flat better, why would you expose your bet to the don't pass, on a 7-11. Same thing with the DC. We all like to play that three-point molly, right? Um, if they roll a number, just lay it. Then you got the same thing, but you weren't exposed to the 7 or 11. Now you don't get free odds. You don't get a free bet. You got to pay a vig. I get it, but still, it's $1 cheaper or $2 cheaper than a $50 exposure on a 7 or 11.
Yep.
Of course it is.
Yep.
Right.
Well, I put up there how Jen said she was betting, and she just said 156 and 8 once in a while, $100 DP. But if you walk up to the table, for you new players, if you walk up to the table and you play the way the dealers tell you to play, pass line with max odds, I'm not saying that's wrong. It just wasn't for me. And even a comeback with max odds. I know a lot of people out there, they swear by pass line, max odds, comeback, max odds, and let it roll. But it wasn't for me. So when I talk to these people like Ed, and G, El Toro, Heavy, even some of my local friends have been playing this game for a long time, Clay, and he's older than you. Ed, so he's got to be playing when he probably etched the pips in the bones back in the day. That's how old he is. But you play this game long enough and you lose continuous. You got to wonder, and that's where I was 4 years ago, and I met Ed 2.5 years ago, and the game's been different. That's all I can say about that.
It's not an easy game. It's a hard way to make an easy living.
Well, let's not talk about guys that say they make a living at it. Ed, you and I know a few that do that, and it's very, very, very minute amount of people that could actually be profitable year after year and make a living at it. The probability is against you. It's a negative EV game. I don't want to be negative about it. I don't want to be negative Nancy and go into the casino saying I'm going to lose. But you have to have that realization.
So the difference is, the realization is it is a negative EV game. So can you as a shooter prove to yourself through practice that you can reduce, I'm not saying take away, but even reduce that negative house edge? If you can learn to reduce that house edge, and then when it's happening in front of you, take advantage of it. That's the difference. We're not talking about just picking up the dice and throwing them down the table in a shoebox like so many other people do. We're talking about legitimate trying to influence the dice. Consider yourselves a DI. You're trying to influence the dice. You practice at it. And let's be honest. What is influence? If those dice are sitting on the table in front of you, they're sitting there stagnant. As soon as you pick them up and you toss them, you just influenced them. You influenced them one way or another, right? Any movement or action physically influences the reaction of the dice. So just because you're picking them up and tossing them doesn't mean you're not influencing them. You are definitely having an influence. Is that influence positive or negative? So what you want to do if you're a practiced person and you're trying to practice and influence them positively to reduce that house edge, that's where it starts to pay off. Doesn't pay off every time. It's not going to work every time. I get it. But that's the only way to negate that house edge. Otherwise, you need to learn to count cards and go play blackjack.
That's right.
Yep. All right, G.
Right.
You've been writing that.
And I've said it before too, right? Anybody, including the Chuckalucks and all these, they're trying to influence the dice just by picking up the dice and throwing it. You have some influence. The question is, what type of influence are you doing, if any? Like, we're trying to influence the dice to do a certain way, whether on a bouncy table you want to hit it, away from the back wall so that it doesn't hit the wall hard. Low shot, it doesn't bounce. That's the type of influence that we're trying to put in. That's the kind of stuff that Ed's talking about. We're trying to do a positive influence. There's no such thing as dice control. Don't listen to those scammers on YouTube that talk about dice control. Nobody can control the dice. You try to influence the dice. And, these guys that have like a little, you know, I'm not going to go there. Anyway, we're trying to do a positive influence.
No, it's true, and I say it all the time because I do daytime shows and nighttime rollout shows using the app, and I'm entertaining. Even Joe's here; he'll tell you he does it in the morning. I just put his chat up there time before this. It's difficult, and Brian from HCS and I talk about this all the time. It's hard to produce a show and throw and keep all the aspects in. Guys, when I'm doing rollouts with you, I'm producing, rolling, and so forth. So what you see on my daytime shows, I'm here to entertain you and give you an opportunity to play with some random shooters, whether it be me or I'm just doing lefty from underhanded. But the influence, I'm a rhythm roller, setting the dice, how I've been instructed by some very good people that I didn't have to pay for a course. And it's changed. It has you can't become a high level card player on the comps on a card without doing some type of something. And if I'm not going to go back to the casino because I'm losing all the time, I don't get those high level comp cards or the level of cards. So we don't want to talk about slots and poker or blackjack for that matter. But yeah, this is a game we're all here because they like you two, and I'm the entertainer, but we like the game of craps. I have a question, guys. If you want to move on, this Ed's got something else he'd like to say.
Let's go.
All right. I didn't read it ahead of time. It came from Wayne. He's pretty close to me here. Hi, guys. Do any of you know if there has ever been a scientific experiment of a machine throwing dice with the same dice setting of force, and whether the experiment's got a repeater or results? I wish, I don't want to mention his name. Ed, you might know the video, and G, you might know, but John did a show about this guy or the group that actually, whatever it was, a college that put a machine together. Who knows the story? Either one of you?
So let me take this one, Ed.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there's someone who's a physicist, and he's technically savvy, and he wanted to prove dice control, and he put together some kind of a gizmo to try and prove or disprove dice control. And he did a machine to where the dice either the first one, the dice just let go and it drops the same way. The second one is the dice kind of roll down, where he just lets go and the dice roll down. And the third one, he tried to do just a throw. The problem with these experiments is that they don't have human emotions in them. You can't make the machine do something to influence the dice. All it does is the same thing over and over and over and over. What we do is we do the influence based on what we see. So yes, somebody did an experiment. No, it didn't prove that dice control is real, but dice control is not real because you cannot control.
That's it. Lou's got it.
Two dice going around the table and hitting a back wall that's got eggshells on it. That's it in a nutshell.
Yep. So
I'll be happy to comment.
Okay, go ahead. I was going to say something about what Leon did recently on his channel, but go ahead.
Well, as Sweet Lou just said, it was a professor from Monmouth University.
Yes, I'll put that back.
And if I'm not mistaken, he said repeatedly in his interview with Color Up when he did this that he was not a physicist. He was an economist. Right?
Yeah, there was a physicist that tried to do something.
Oh, there's been tons. But here's the problem. They look at it from a narrow-minded point of view, and they don't understand that there's 576 different dice sets. So they throw this set, then they throw that set, and they throw it from different launch angles. They change their launch angle. They change the thrust that's hitting the dice on the machine. They change the position of the machine on a table. They do all these things so they don't understand what they're really trying to accomplish. They want to prove it, but they don't know how to prove it. And if they would talk to somebody as simple-minded as me, as I could explain it to them very quickly, right? So, if they would take the machine, make it static, don't make any changes, start with a die set, then use some other tool to derive tosses like Bone Tracker that might give them different sets with that same exact mechanical toss, they probably would end up proving that it may be possible or that you may lower the house edge. And that's all we're trying to do, is we're trying to lower the house edge. The lower your chi or chi, I call it chi because it's a Greek letter. Some people call it chi, C-H-I. The lower that number, the more you reduce the house edge. It's that simple. And it's a mathematical formula. It's extremely complicated formula. But the more your chi is low, it doesn't matter if you're on axis or off axis. If you're consistent with what you're doing, you can change your die set to make the house edge deteriorate right in front of them, and they don't know what you're doing.
Correct. And unlike card counting in blackjack, when you start making larger bets, and then you're not making larger bets, they can pick you up that you potentially could be a card counter. And with craps, I'm adjusting my bets a lot. I don't, just because I played 320 or 220, 330 or 220 inside on my table right back there on my daytime shows. I don't do that on everybody. It's not that way. If I don't know you or you're having a bad day, I'll say it again. I'm a 6, 7, 8 type person. With my bet on the ATS. that's my downfall.
It's, for entertainment value, you can't get a better bet than the ATS on everybody. It's not going to work a lot, but some days it's going to hit. It's going to hit a lot some days.
Read what Arnell says. It wasn't realistic.
Yeah.
You looks like a can. Yeah. And I think what Leon over on Great Craps did within the past 4 or 5 weeks is he lined them up to the edge of the table, same set, and continuously tried to push him over. Ed, I think we talked about this. Did you do a reaction?
I did a reaction on that. I did a reaction on that.
You put him over, and although he was getting different numbers, the mechanics, although were pretty close each and every one of those rolls, and he had some repeaters, not maybe repeaters on both dice, but repeaters on one dice. But it's somewhere between what Leon and the gentleman at the university did and what Arnell just said. Everybody's grip is different. Everybody's landing zone's different. Somebody recommends a dice set on my show all the time, and I say, well, it might work for you. It's not going to work for me. One, table's bouncy, table's hard. So it's a lot of adjusting, and I've come a long way in this 2.5 years. All right, what else, guys? G, anything else on that subject, or you want to move on?
Let's move on.
All right, see that? It's raining Craps wisdom now, Jen says. She's so nice. If you haven't met her, you're missing.
She's got holes in her umbrella, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you are watching it because Dynamite comes in small packages, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Well, I'm not going to
remember that
repeat
show,
what I said
Dynamite.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to repeat here on the show what I said to Jen that day when we're sitting eating donut. But Jen, if you remember, you probably forgot it. I can remind you of it, and I think that's one of your major problems.
Yeah, but that day that we were sitting there around the breakfast thing, and you gave her that suggestion. I think she was getting ready to head out. She was already there at Biloxi. She was getting ready to go home, and you gave her some suggestion. I think she took that back, and then she traveled overseas, or she traveled to the Northeast, or somewhere, went on a cruise or something, and I didn't see how she played. But at least she's trying to do what somebody has suggested to do. That when it comes to the betting, yeah, she is.
She's trying. I can't. I give her that. She's trying.
So, Last call, guys, for this last set of dice that we're going to give away out of this box here, which comes from 10 Ton. It's a Casino Tiers box of
So
grade
Jeff,
dice.
so we're gonna give the dice, and then we're gonna talk about what's upcoming in
Yes.
2025, and
Or
we're
we can
gonna.
start now, and I'll give it away afterwards. It doesn't make any
It's
difference.
up to you. It's up to you. Let's give it away now, and that
I
way,
I
if
have
people
I have to
wanna,
give them a few
don't care
minutes.
about what's happening next year,
I
they
just
can
called
leave.
last call. We've got 85 people currently watching. I haven't hit did I hit 50 yet? Let me refresh the page. All live here, guys. We are sitting on 49. Guys, if you're here and you haven't entered a chance to win this sleeve of dice that's wrapped up in this bubble wrap, now's the time to get in. And I'm going to pull one of these out. However, he's got this mixed up. These are green, red. I'll give you your choice of whether you want whoever wins it, whether they want the green ones or the red ones, just in time. And these are the holiday special. These are the special that that you guys had up on your website. So I'll give them away. Last call, and let's start with the 2025 year. So let's go ahead and get that part out of the way with some of the things that
Okay.
you and I are going to do, and then we'll let Ed talk about his 2025 year and what the three of us are
Okay.
going to do.
Well, hinted a little bit earlier that we're going to probably do something similar. I don't think it's gonna, it's gonna be common sense graphs, but we're gonna keep at least once a month. We'll have a show to talk about things that you can pick up and do in the casino. May do some, on that show, may do some betting. Like I'll get on the table and show like real bettings, and what happens and what ifs and stuff like that. I think a lot of people, especially Arnell, wanted to see like in real lifetime, how to bet the different hands. If you have a small bankroll, big bankroll, or large bankroll, if you're a conservative bettor, or if you're, you know, um, afterburner bettor. The other one that we're going to do once a month is the dice tossing techniques. If you're listening, call your friends, call anybody you don't want to miss that, because this is at once a month. I'm gonna take one dice toss, and break it down from start to finish with multiple camera angles. Did a practice, Ed and I, the other day on the angles, and he liked all those angles that I'm gonna have, from grip to hand tossing to overhead view of the entire launch to the landing. So it's gonna be, and it's gonna be live. So you'll have it. So we will do 25-30 minutes of setting the dice and what to do with the toss, and then we'll take questions. If people want to see some more. And yeah, we're probably gonna do some throwing, maybe one, every now and then, if my work schedule will entertain me. Maybe be a guest on the mid-mat in the afternoon. Who knows? Ed, we're gonna do something together, right?
Yes, we
On
are.
Patreon.
Yep.
So we're gonna do. We're gonna. There are some suggestions and requests for some things on Patreon. So we're gonna be on Patreon doing some of that stuff. So I'm looking forward, and again, um, me personally, not that all three of us here make any money of this, but me personally, I've never asked for money, and I'll never will take money for this. This is just knowledge sharing. So if people ever think that there's something coming back to me, they're just completely misunderstood. And I know, Jeff, the money you make is from the super chats that helps with all the the things that you send out. It costs money to ship stuff, folks. I learned it when I sent my chips that I did. So all the super chats that are appreciated, they all go to the channels. Nothing comes to me. Nobody. I'm just an invited guest. I just want to put it out there. Nobody's paying me to come in and say anything or do anything.
Well, I think maybe we can, before we head to to Ed's 2025 year. I'm not going to specifically talk about what you covered it, G. It's once a month, possibly two different shows once a month. So that could be two shows a month, but schedules permitting, and we're going to go out there and do some things. But Ed, let's before you talk about your 2025 year, I think what you did in going over to Patreon, I've heard some people talk about it. I think it was a good thing. What knowledge that you get on your videos that you put out on Patreon and the things that you cover over there is for a specific type of player that is serious about the game. Now, with that said, you went to Patreon for a reason, and you have your reasons, and there's nothing against however anybody makes money on YouTube or they make money, teaching courses. We got the big groups out there, GTC, Power Access Group, Tony Leo. All those guys charge money, the experience that you and Bo Parker did. And it's up to the individual person whether or not they want to pay those classes. And by the demand that you have, just in the Vegas experience with Bo and 10 Ton and you, all these other classes are filling up. You got Heavy's classes filling up, GTC's classes filling up. I saw a thing on Tony Leo today on Facebook where he's got people that scheduled ahead. So, Ed, your Patreon, how's it doing?
Fair. I'm just gonna call it fair.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use the excuse of because of the year personally that I've had in my personal life that it hasn't been what it needed to be, because when it started out gangbusters. After I lost my son, things kind of took a different turn. I admit that. And, so a lot of people signed up, then a lot of people dropped. We still got a number of people. I actually considered just dropping it, just turning it off in January.
Could you be combining that with casino tiers in the future? You and I have not talked about that. That's a question that I have.
No, I don't think so, because it's a different genre type of thing.
Okay.
The casino tiers, Patreon, I mean, that's all about the content between 10 Ton and I, and visual, and hopefully audio, and hopefully someday visual. It's starting to come. My Patreon is about shooting. It's about how you play the game. And that's why I'm not doing any more. I mean, there's 300 and some odd videos of me out there shooting videos, or videos of me shooting dice and explaining crap on YouTube. I haven't taken any of them down. You're welcome to go back and watch 4 years worth of videos. I mean, they're all there. Nobody wants to go back and watch the old stuff, but there's some gems out there. So I'm gearing my Patreon more towards going forward, where we're at, what we're doing. We're going to bring in G a little bit just to do some of the oddball stuff since he walked away. Do some of the other things that people have interest in. So it's a different phenomena of the game, I guess, if you want to call it that. I appreciate you putting that up there. You didn't have to. But shooting, I mean, there's a lot of people that don't want to shoot dice. All they want to do is watch and dream. That's why people have such a great time playing that particular app. They want to go balls in and go wall to wall, and they want to go all in and rail dump and all that stuff. But that's not reality.
Correct.
I want people to learn reality. And so with Bo, Bo's going to be 80 years old next year, folks. So we're trying to bring this all together into some type of situation where you can learn not only from Bo, but hopefully from myself. I mean, I've been playing for 35 years, for Christ's sake. So um, you can either learn it or you can not. That's up to you. And the price tag is not cheap. I mean, if you look at it from a standpoint of what does Patreon cost me, it costs me a buy-in a year. All right, so but that's just Patreon. So if you want to go to a level of working with Bo and myself, with the Dice Influence experience that we put on with Casino Tiers, yeah, it's pricey. But look at it this way: you think it's pricey, and then all of a sudden, if you break it down, you're getting 2 coaches simultaneously working with you individually, no more than 8 people on the table. And we're working with you on what will affect you and your play, whether it's your toss or your betting. And generally, it's both. So I think it's a great bargain if you look at it that way. Back to you, Jeff.
I know, I agree with you, and I wanted people to understand why you took your product, your YouTube, to Patreon. I've had people ask me that question, and it's your choice whether you choose to join a Patreon like yours or Brian's, or you choose to join my back-end website, or you choose to join on YouTube. It's your choice, and if you choose to take one of those classes with the 4 or 5 people that I've mentioned, it's a choice. So, Ed, I understand completely. I just wanted you to get that out there why you did that in 2024, because you're still doing some stuff in the open, but most of it's on the Patreon. I'm just a fool in the daytime doing the app show with we're trying to roll dice, and I do take guest shooters. You heard G's going to come on. I had Joel from 208 Craps on a couple, I guess maybe about a month and a half ago. He had 2 humongous big rolls in the show and a short roll, and I rolled average. But in any event, coming up on my channel in 2025, guys, I scaled back, as you know, in 2024 due to personal reasons. And if you go to my website, midatlanticcraps.com, the very first homepage you come to, you can read about it. In June 2024, I changed things because the YouTube world in this niche, this craps niche, is now over 300 channels specifically just for craps, with another 50 or so that do all kinds of gaming. So I didn't want to be the same person rolling out the strategies. There's good strategy channels out there, and there's bad strategy channels out there. I'm going to give a plug to my
Who
good
the
friend
hell
Waylon.
has a good strategy video?
Well, I'm gonna tell you. Waylon puts stuff out, but hold it. Let me finish. Waylon puts a slew of videos out to show you the various ways that you can play. You don't have to like one of his strategies. You can think some of them might be a little bit far-fetched, but he gives it to you, and it's the endless amount of ways to play. He shows it to you. Now, for the most part, he's showing you a winning session.
What's the difference? What's the difference right there? Waylon always tells you what you need is a buy-in.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
He doesn't tell you. He doesn't tell you that you can buy in for $200 and bet $500, right? He tells you got to buy in with 5,000 or 3,000 or 2,000, whatever he's showing.
He
That's
usually
the
does
difference
2 to 5
on Waylon.
Yeah, he does 2 to 5, and that's what I just said with Gila.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the other knuckleheads out there that come in and say they don't even tell you what you need as a buy-in. I'm not going there either, but I'm just saying knuckleheads. That's like everybody else.
Well, I'm not. I certainly am not calling Waylon that because he's a good friend of mine. But there are some channels out there that are just BS stuff, and I decided I didn't want to be aligned with that. So I changed my channel direction to just do live app shows, these talk shows like this, and I just took it a different direction. I actually kind of got burnt out. And Ed, you know what I mean by getting burnt out. I mean, you know exactly what I mean.
I hate it. I mean, I've almost quit 1,000,000 times.
Yep. So that's what's up with my channel. I'm going to continue to do the app stuff. Hopefully I can continue to give away the Max Swag. People seem to like the Max Swag. So it's coming. Whatever income I get in goes out in the form of 2 things. One for good causes like the Craps for the Cure, and the other one for the Max Swag. So if you think about how much I give away, the tax guy got on me last year because I didn't keep enough receipts. The year before that, I lost my butt on what I gave away. This year, I've got a pretty good record, that's one of the reasons why I scaled back so I can keep track of it. This dice over here, this box of dice, $1,000 worth of dice. It is what it is. And to the YouTubers out there that are doing the daily shows like Joe and John, that are doing the daily live shows, George that comes out and shows it like it is. We're rolling live on YouTube, and we may have good rolls and bad rolls, but we're showing you it like it is. We're showing you exactly what happens, and anybody can win on a big roll. The question is, can you win on an average roll or just a slightly above average roll?
And people do not understand how hard and almost impossible it is to keep a concentration while you're reacting to not only people in a chat, you're raking your own dice, you're placing the bets, you're talking about what you're doing, and then all of a sudden now you got to shoot. It's almost impossible to keep anything in any kind of continuity for yourself, let alone being a shooter. So it's very, very difficult to do it in this manner that we would do it on YouTube. That's very, very difficult. Live, whatever.
There's another guy that just learned how hard it is to run a show and be the host, the producer, the talent, and trying to roll dice. Craig, I didn't purposely.
That's not why people don't watch it. That's not. It's his ugly mug.
Oh, stop. I'm not going to talk about anybody's looks. Trust me, as self-conscious as I am, I'm not talking about anybody's looks. G, G, you bent your head over a couple times during the show. We saw that spot back there.
I know.
So don't be talking about it. Craig, I apologize. Craig Wright from Old Bay Craps is a good friend of mine. Craig, you know how it is running the show, and I'm glad you put that up there because Craig's been doing some stuff on Tuesdays and I think Thursday nights with the app. And guys, go over and check Craig out. He has better roles than I do live. Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up, guys, before we give this away.
Be patient, man. I'm telling you, what you're doing is gonna pay off. Just be patient. It's not about long rolls. It's about trying to understand what your toss is doing, and then how you can make the changes in the casino. Don't just be patient.
Oh, I've already seen it change. What Ed taught me, and here's a lesson of the day for anybody that's throwing dice with a pendulum swing. I'm not saying it's against it. You got your own way of throwing dice. When Ed got me to launch the dice from the deck, which is on the table, it changed. Light bulb went off, and I said, wow, check this out. And it was Ed Robinson from Roll to Win Craps that told me that 2.5 years ago.
Thank you,
pendulum swing.
I'm glad you paid attention.
That's only one thing I learned in 2.5 years, Ed. All right, guys, this is the Crapsmas special. Haven't mentioned it too much. We're going to give away these dice, and then Jay and I are going to, and Ed, we're going to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we've already told you what's coming up. Anything else before we give away the dice, G?
No, I just want to say that, and it is a shameless plug, but the stuff that at least I will be working on with Ed on the Patreon channel, it's advanced stuff. And even, I talked to a lot of my friends on YouTube and even Jeff about whether, do we do it on YouTube or do it on Patreon. And even the folks that are not part of the Patreon channel said that, no, this stuff needs to be on Patreon because it's worth the money for people to go and watch it. So, there's paying for, initial learning, mechanics and stuff, and there's paying for the advanced and classes. They're different. I mean, anything you do in life, when you pay for advanced stuff, you have to pay a good price for it. So, that's all I'm going to say.
All right, let me put this in if I can see if I can. It didn't happen. Meeson, you asked what the password is or isn't. There isn't a password. Go to Mid-Atlantic Craps. My computer just messed up. Go to midatlanticcraps.com, promotion tab, just like you do when you register for the high hand. You go in there, same area of the website. It's just a different form for tonight. And I've already pulled it down. I'm going to go refresh the page one more time before we actually draw here, just to make sure we've got enough. We're over 50, by the way, guys. We have 54 entries at the moment, and that's good for a show that we've sat here for over 2 hours and BS with one another, because this is the No BS Zone, and this is the show that we get to BS with you guys once a year when we're taking it more serious and having a good time. It's that time of the year to be jolly and merry, and this is the Crapsmas special with Ed, G, and Mac, or Butthead. What's it again? G?
Jeff Mutt and the Butthead.
There you go, Jeff Mutt and the Butthead. There you go. Thank you very much.
Oh
my gosh.
Am I the Mutt? I'm the Mutt.
I don't know. I wasn't going to ask because my name came out. All right, guys.
We do need thumbs up.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, appreciate that, guys. Currently, there's 40 watching on Ed's channel and 56 on mine, so we haven't peaked the 100 mark, but guys, you guys are great. I know some of you are switching back and forth. We don't care. Whatever channel you're watching on, my good friend Ed from Roll to Win, click it up. And my channel, up or down, I don't care. It helps the algorithm. It doesn't make any difference to me. Just do what you want to do. Just do it. Just get her done.
And by the way, I know that this is a niche community, so it's a lot of people in the community that watches. We want to try and bring others so that they can help understand how to play the game and better themselves. So if you're out on other YouTubes, outside of the community, and you feel like you want to mention, Jeff's channel, Ed's channel, or Joe, Dice Grinders, OBC, and all, in the community, do that. We need others to come in and so that they can learn how to play the game, learn how to bet the right way, and not be just fooled by scammers out there.
I want to say something real quick. Put that back up by Tornaga. Tornaga just gave somebody, I think it was you.
Yeah. Here you go.
A super chat.
$4.99 right? Chat. Yep.
All right. If you've listened to Casino Tears, you've heard that name, Lord Tornaga. That's the guy.
Cool.
All right. So let me tell you about Tornaga. Tornaga came in to the first day of the dice event with me and Bo, and he had this claw grip. I've never even worked with anybody with a claw grip personally. There's only one other person I know of that ever used it. I know what it is, but he was using this claw grip. Ultimately, on day 2, he came back for day 2 of our event. Tornaga, we changed his grip. Bo changed his set. I changed his grip. Bo changed his set from stick right 1, and he began to make number after number after number after number. Then we went to the casino. Dude, that guy, he hit one side. We went to the Bellagio. Me and Tornaga. He's a stick right 1. I'm a stick left 1. Tornaga killed it. He killed it. He never hit the all, but he hit the side almost twice there at the Bellagio. We colored up. We walked across the street, went over to the Cromwell, and we hadn't even had a chance to throw yet. But he's learned enough about the betting progressions. When we caught a hand by a person, we had no idea who they were. Some girl having her 21st birthday, and she threw a phenomenal hand. And I turned around, I looked at. He was smarter than I was. He said, "I'm good to go if you are." And I said, "Well, I'm good to go, but we came here to toss, and it's going to be our last toss of the night." So Tornaga killed it by going to that event. We ultimately changed everything he did, I think. Grip, toss, the whole deal, which we normally don't do. We don't like to do that. We like to take what you've got and try to improve it, but it ended up, after the second day, we changed everything that guy did. And I think, based on what I've heard since then, people agree it was a good change.
All right. Yep. Is let me ask you this, Ed, and G, I don't know this because is the grip you're talking about, is that like throwing the ice tone grip, or is it different?
No.
It's all fingers. All fingers are making contact with the dice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not like that. Good friend of mine
on a
from
claw grip. Elephant Man, the guy we used to call Elephant Man was the only guy I ever knew that used to really throw it.
Okay.
It's,
All right.
it's this.
All right. Yeah, I didn't know if it was that because a good friend of mine from Hawaii that's named Tito. He, big tall guy, not as big as me, but tall. He throws this grip. It's different. That's all I got to say about that. Oh. All right, guys, I had to refresh the page on the dice. We went from 50 some to over 60 people in for this dice giveaway. So and I removed all the duplicates. Some of you out there didn't follow instructions. I removed the duplicates, so there's no duplicates in this one. And if Stoney wins the second time, we'll just roll again. But because that's happened before, we've had duplicate winners. I'm not sure who has an alarm going off, Scott. I think that might be some feedback coming from G's side of things. I keep hearing it throughout the show, but it is what it is. He says he calls it a monkey grip.
I heard something and I went to check it earlier. You guys hear something?
I don't hear anything.
Oh, here it comes.
Yeah,
I thought
I
G
hear
was
it.
Might be
do something.
Dolly. It's probably Dolly trying to get out of the closet.
No.
All right, guys. We're going to call off the contest now. I brought over the amount of shooters that we've got in here. It's over 60. I've got to switch back to my Google Sheets to find out how many it is. But it is a mess. And we bring up that screen, you'll see that you can't even see it now. Look at those Christmas colors.
Smokes.
Yeah, so we're
Man,
going
that's a bunch.
to do that
I
in
see a
just
lot
one
of red
second.
and green on there.
Yep. We're going to do that in just a second, and we're going to give those dice away. And hopefully you'll stay around for two things. You'll stay around for each one of us telling you, hopefully G will be back by now, telling you how much we appreciate what you have done for our channels, the views, the watches, the subscribes, the memberships that you've done for us, that come into the meetups have done for us, and we'll get to that. So I was going to wait for, he's back now. G's back. Everything okay there, G? Martha's not burning the house down, cooking some of those homemade Oreo cookies, is she?
It's coming. It's either from my fan or something because it's not coming from over there. It's like a squeaking noise.
Oh, I don't know what it is, but evidently there's a noise. I don't hear it in my production studio. I'm looking at my audio board, my sound board's
Oh,
not
I
picking
know
it
what
up.
it is. Yeah, no. It's my my private cloud is offline and it keeps beeping in my media room in there.
I didn't hear it. That's why you got to mute those things. Just have visuals. I'm just kidding, G. Let's give the dice away. Let's say goodnight to everybody. G, you're not going to believe this. By the time we get done, 2.5 hours. I told you tonight we had to. We would go long, and G's like, no, we're just going to talk about 2024 and talk about what's coming up and give some dice away and say Merry Christmas.
Well, Ed
No
can't
comment?
shut up. So I can't help it.
It's not Ed. Oh my gosh. All right, let's give the dice away, guys. For all of you that came out tonight, let me switch over, get this thing set up. Let me see. Do I have anything else? One more question here. Hey Ed, any chance I can get a comp room for 2 or 3 days if I come to Vegas in March? I don't know about that. But
I have no influence on that.
yeah, you don't have anything to do with that. That's all 10 ton. All right. Let's go ahead and do this, guys. Let me switch back over to the prize wheel. Let's get that chat off there. And guys, stick around for two things. We're going to say Merry Christmas, and then if you give us, for those of you that didn't come in the beginning of the show, I'm going to replay this intro music that I made for Ed and me. And it's a couple minutes long, but you need to listen to the verses when you do it. If you stick around for an extra 2 minutes, I appreciate it. We don't get any extra bonuses or any paid by how long you stay. We're not in it for the money here on the public side of YouTube, so just let's give it away. Here we go, guys. One of you count it down. Somebody say something.
6,
3,
5, 4,
2,
go.
1.
Oh, let's see what's going to be. I can't even see the writing. Oh my gosh. They're going to say it's rigged.
He doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve it.
East Coast Craps. Clay, if you're still here, because you got to be present to win. Clay, if you're here, I have serial number 009 in both red and green. You have to tell me if you want the red ones or the green ones. We're going to give you a few minutes as we say goodbye. And if we don't get Clay to say that he's still here and that he wants red or green, we're going to give it away again. So, red and green, Clay, I got to make sure you're in the chat. That was part of the requirements tonight. All right. Who wants to go first on the outros, if you will? Well, I cue everything up.
Go ahead, G.
Yeah, he's going.
So, I just wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and an upcoming Happy New Year. I'm glad that you invited me into your homes on the shows, with Jeff and Ed and other shows. I hope that 2024 was a good year for you, and I hope 2025 is even better year. And you folks on YouTube know how to reach myself, Jeff and Ed, with emails or whatever. Anytime you need something as far as help with, or you want to see something on YouTube, or you want to help with a particular toss or something, or you have a question, all you gotta do is ask. We're here. Myself, I'm here, but I know Jeff and Ed will say the same thing. We're here to help you folks. So appreciate you watching us all this year, and appreciate all the kudos and emails and texts. And I have stacks of letters here from Jen and others, encouraging me to keep going. And I appreciate. I didn't know I was going to have to say that, and I don't want to get emotional, but I appreciate everybody's friendship. And I made some good friends this year, and I thank everybody that became a friend for me and my wife this year and is part of my life. And I strongly appreciate these two gentlemen right here, because they're like brothers to me. And I can pick up the phone and call every single one of them anytime I need help with something or advice. So 2024 was good to me, not just from a craps play, but I gained a lot of friends. So thank you, everyone.
All right. Ed?
2024. It's almost over. We've got, just a few more days left. Today's 22nd. My wife and I were having a discussion just yesterday about we will both be glad when this holiday season is over. It's been odd because of our situation. It hasn't been the typical Merry Christmas and all that stuff that we normally have always had. But that's okay. I can't express the appreciation I have for everyone that I don't even know who reached out to me this year over the trials and tribulations that I had with the loss of our son this year. So many people reached out, they emailed me, they thanked me, they prayed for me. They continue to do that. And that's what I appreciate. And I feel like, you feel like at times you just want to hang this up. Jeff, you've probably done the same thing. You've probably gone like, man, I'm just tired of this. This is growing old. Nobody cares. And then you get an email. You get something. Somebody contacts you and it lets you know that you make a difference in some kind of way in the way they play or how they view the game or just about life, whatever it is. So that's what keeps us going, folks. Otherwise, I'd probably be gone. I thank each and every one of the viewers and the people who come in and they they comment, they subscribe, they gives us thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever. We're going to get what you're going to get from Ed. You're not going to get any
Straight up.
glitter. You're going to get what I think. Period. And there's a lot of channels out there that just boom because of the glitz and glamour of everybody wishing that they could do that. Well, we don't all have the money to go out there and bet super huge. We don't all have the money to go out there and just throw it away like some of the channels do out there. So I appreciate each and every one of you. We're going to do more of the reaction videos throughout the year. I like doing those, even though it makes people mad. We're going to have at least 3. I've already got 3 commitments on 3 more Tales from the Table this year, which I haven't done in quite a while. I kind of had washed that clean, but I decided, I'll bring it back. So I've talked to some people, and they said, yeah, they'd love to do it. So we've got 3 people already lined up. Dice Coach, Dean the Machine, 220 Inside. They're all agreed to come back in. I'm going to try to get a few more this year. It's not going to be like every month or anything, but we're going to have those. We're going to do those at premieres. A lot of my focus has been on that right up there, Casino Tears. We're having a great time with the podcast and expanding and growing the community that listens to the podcast. And I've had more fun with that probably than anything else, because I don't have to do anything but talk, and I'm good at that. So I appreciate each and everybody that comes in. We love you. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. I hope you have a super safe and prosperous 2025. And we'll see you all next year. Jeff, over to you.
Thank you, Ed. I thought you were going to give me your out cue there. Practice like you play and play like you practice, but I did it for you. From a heartfelt thank you to these 2 gentlemen on the screen next to me. Your friendship has meant the world to me this year. The personal things that I've gone through this year, the reason why I cut back on the channel, the reason why I didn't get to travel, not just with my girlfriend, but with my family. For those of you that knew about what was going on with my girlfriend and her health concerns, they're still going on. I appreciate your prayers and your communications on not on a daily basis, but every so often. And that means the world to me, just like what Ed just said a minute ago. The people that reach out. This week, I got a check, and he's not here tonight. He'll probably go back and watch it. I got a check from Joe Ramus. He's on the shows, you guys know. I got a check. He said, Jeff, here's $100. I want you to pay for the shipping on those dice. So as you know, it costs somewhere between $465 and $615 to ship those dice out. Joe Ramus, everybody that gets a set of dice mailed to you, you need to thank Joe Ramus because he paid for the shipping. That's the kind of stuff that we get here that keeps us going. And I was with Ed earlier in the year when we were having a great time and then a sad time. The friendship that we have, being miles and miles apart, Alabama and Georgia, is just freaking incredible. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and call the show here. I want to wish each and every one of you a happy and wonderful holiday season, no matter what you're celebrating for. Whatever the season's here for, whatever it means to you, I want you to have a great holiday season, a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. And I will see you after the first of the year when I get back from hopefully my 7th trip. Now, what I'm going to ask you guys to do is, as we're going out, I'm going to play that intro for Ed and me, at the end here, if you'll say Merry Christmas in the chats, both Roll to Win Craps and Mid-Atlantic Craps, I'll display as many as I can in that few minutes that we have while we roll this. Without further ado, God bless each and every one of you. I want you to play smart and be safe. We'll see you in the new year.
Jeff Mack and Ed Roll to Win on the mic. Dice talk about the fly. Talk casino craps under Vegas and Biloxi sky. Close the dice roll like a wizard casts a spell. Dice and precision make a ring that bell. Trend betting is the game, watching for the wave. Money stacking high, no room to cave. Regression bets saving you from sinking deep. Pull back when you're on top, dreams ain't cheap. Craps with a rolling hot, never let stop. Mac your roll to win, ain't got rock solid tips to drop. Dice matches set right, never flop. Trade and regress is the way to win in craps. Set those bows right, not too tight. Feel the vibe, feel the energy. On the table in your tribe, precision so clean like an arrow in flight. Look at those box numbers lighting up the night. Trend is the move to make, like a gambler's sixth sense. Reading table moves, no room for pretense. Let the winds flow. Regression when it's tight, save your stack for storms. Keep your bankroll bright. Dice roll, wisdom flow, hit the winning glow. Jeff Mackin meant for road to win, showing you the pros way to go. Bet smart, play hard, stack them chips right. Craps game knowledge, bring it winning to the line. Craps with a rolling hot, never let stop. Mac your road to win, ain't got rock solid tips to drop. Dice magic set right, never flop. Trade and regress is the way to win in craps. Craps with a rolling hot, never let it stop. Mac your road to win, ain't got rock solid tips to drop. Dice magic set right, never flop. Trade and regress is the way to win in craps. Set the phones right, not too tight. Feel the vibe, feel the energy. On the table in your drop, precision so clean like an arrow and flop. Trend and regress is the way to win in craps. Dice roll, wisdom flow, hit the winning glow.